My horsey breeding skills are unrivaled. No, Jeffrey, don't go the wrong way. Oh, Jeffrey. I'm pretty flamin' good at genetically engineering horsies, too.
What the hell?
To complete 100% of this hilarious game, I'll make hundreds of thousands of dollars at the races, breed a race-winning rabbit horse, and genetically engineer a horse capable of winning at the circus, the track, and the sumo ring. Welcome to 100% of Horsey Game.
Help, I have the horse flu. I'm afraid the treatment costs $62,375. Go bet on horse races to make money.
The adventure begins as I leave my friend Sweetie on her sickbed and emerge into the glorious land of horsies. I began by trucking it around, checking out what this lovely neighborhood had to offer, including Sue's glues. What kind of glue, I wonder?
I'm so lost. Where am I? All right, let's go to the racetrack.
I needed $63,000 to cure Sweetie, and apparently I was supposed to earn that money by betting my $50 at the races.
I like Roundhead for this race.
I got over-enthusiastic and somehow ended up betting $12 on Roundhead.
I want to go lower again. Why'd I go all the way up to 12? That's fine. Let's go. Race. I stand to win $72. Come on, Roundhead. Come on, Roundhead. Go, you floppy idiot. Can I do anything to help the odds? What did I do?
I just ripped up my bet, which is how you give up on a race if it seems your horse is definitely gonna lose.
Baboosh. Come on, Baboosh. This time I won't rip up my odds.
My current betting method was to choose a horse with a name that I liked, but Baboosh wasn't very fast.
Oh, good news. The two idiots have fallen over. Boldernaut's breaking ahead. Boldernaut, fall over. I'm gonna be here for 3 hours waiting for this race to end. I need Boldernaut to fall over or there's no hope. I swear Baboosh is going slower than ever. Now Boldernaut's popping off now. Look at him go.
I held out hope that Baboosh would pop off at the last second, but no, another failed bet.
I like Corn Salad's build. He's got a sturdy build. Come on, Corn Salad. He's gone backwards so far.
Come on, man. How have I chosen the worst horse twice in a row? Corn Salad takes like 3 steps back and 1 step forward.
Hang on. If he's Triff stacks it.
Corn Salad!
Come on, stack it, Triff. Stack it backward. Oh, Alabama Thunder Horse is back.
That was the first repeat racehorse I'd noticed, and this is an important mechanic of Horsey Game. It can be very helpful to get to know the horses in the racing pool to help guide your bets. I did not use any rational horse intel in this case though. I just thought Runcible P. Spoon was a funny name, so he was my horse.
He stood still for the first 3 seconds of the race. We got 2 stacked at idiots. Dude, he's got the best Oh, come on, bro. How sick is Alabama Thunder Horse's stabilizing tail? Where was my stabilizing tail? Go vegan? Oh, Baboosh is back? I feel like Baboosh did all right. But I think Triff beat me, didn't they?
You can see the little trophy next to He's Triff's odds. That indicates that horse is indeed a previous winner. This is obviously also good information to use when betting.
I believe in you again, Triff. The horse that looks like a dog named Go Vegan. I'm just realizing they kind of all look like dogs. Look what happens if you go vegan. Look how much speed you get from the plants.
Once again, I backed the wrong horse, but I was getting good info.
Fracas has had a win, so I believe. How did Aruba Fracas get a win? Numero Uno is not stable either. Oh, slow and steady. Slow and steady. Yes! Just finish the race, please. Yes! Glorious.
I'd gotten down to $17, so it was a relief to make back 30 thanks to Aruba Fracas, who wasn't a particularly fast horse, but at least he stayed on his feet.
I need like $60 million, so I feel like this is not the play. Bring a horse here if you want to race.
I'd bet on several races and gone from $50 on hand down to $47, but winning $500 by entering my own horse in a race seemed like a more promising money-making method. I headed to Lasso Mart because I needed a way to catch a wild horse.
Hey, he said hey. Why not grab that lasso up there? Oh, is it a freebie? What are you trolling me for, bro? I can't afford it. Okay, maybe I should just use my first 50 on a lasso. Oh, it's my house.
I needed $50 for a lasso, so I had to go back to the horse races after all. Hopefully some of my favorite horses show up.
Wild horses? This horse looks like a giant reindeer. This is a giraffe horse. I want the reindeer to win. I had a feeling the giraffe would be a bit top heavy. Stacked it immediately. Dude, Wild Horse 2 has an insane technique. Oh, man. Oh, never mind. Idiot Wild Horse 2. I'm still gonna lose though. Where's my horse? Isn't in the flaming screen. Where are you, bro? Dude, the giraffe that's on the ground is beating you. Too little, too late. Wild Horse 3. Dang it, man.
I was betting a conservative $5 per race, and the odds seemed to always be 5 to 1, so I stood to win $30 each time. Maybe Frosty has what it takes.
Frosty. Oh, Frosty. Oh, no. I thought you were resurrecting yourself. You did a backflip instead.
Hopefully I'd actually back a winner before going broke.
Let's go Proletariat. Do it for the working class. 2 out of the race immediately. Proletariat coming up against Peng the Gallant. Oh. Yeah, this is going to get me above $50. Don't stack it. No, man. You idiot. Stupid Proletariat. Long live the bourgeois. I can relate to the dad bob. Lock it in. Come on, dad bod. Dad bod, you know, it's a sleeper build, the dad bod. It looks chunky. I mean, this one doesn't look chunky, but the spirit of the dad bod is with him.
It turns out that when it comes to dad bods, there is no contest.
Some of those dads, they can get some speed. Am I right? We got $50. We can get a lasso.
I headed to Lasso Mart and purchased my first loopy bit of rope for $50.
What about Bob's farm? Hello, Bob. Grab and pick a horse if you want to trade.
Rancher Bob had corn salad chilling in his pen. So this is when I discovered the horses that enter the races come from a pool of horses housed by the various ranchers around the land. That is another important thing to know because perhaps these horses could be sabotaged somehow as a means to rig the races in my favor.
Corn salad has insane dots. Is that good? Anyway, I can't afford any of those horses.
The blue dots above a horse's head represent their age, so lots of dots isn't really a good thing. Back in the wild, I whipped out my lasso and caught the first horse I saw. This handsome looking fella.
We got a horse. Yeah, what do I do with the horse? Clyde's rides. Let's go. Oh, I'm Clyde and these are my rides. Racing stripes, suspension lift. Ooh.
I couldn't afford any of that. I needed to figure out what to do with my horse. I figured I should get him a beer.
Sorry, sodbuster. No cash, no beer. How dare you? Can't afford a $10 beer.
I returned to the racetracks and tried to enter him into a race, but I needed $25 to enter. I had $7. This seemed like bad news.
These guys have all won before. I feel like Go Vegan popped off before. That's a different dad bod to my dad bod previously. That's a bigger dad bod.
That's the thing about dad bods. If you have another kid, you become more of a dad, and your pregnancy sympathy weight doubles.
We got the win, don't worry. Oh, don't tell me. You've got to be joking. Am I actually screwed? Is there another way to make money?
I went exploring, hoping to find some other money-making venture, and I discovered Circle D Corral.
Wait, can I sell you this guy? You'll give me 110 for the horse?
I figured that was a decent plan, so I dragged my unnamed horse over into his corral and the exchange was made. Suddenly, I had $115.
Because now I can get 2 lassos and catch 2 horses. How do I know if they have good stats?
In this game, it's not so much about their raw stats as it is their DNA, but more on that later. I bought 2 more lassos and headed back out to catch the first 2 horses I laid eyes on.
What does that mean? Hungry? Oh, have an apple.
I'd picked those apples off a random tree, and they proved to be good sustenance.
Can I breed you guys? How do I? Oh, hang on. Oh, that's the age. We got some DNA on display.
I then named my 2 majestic steeds.
All right, we got Slapperhoosie and Dingleberry here. 55 for Slapperhoosie. 46 for Dingleberry.
I figured that if he was offering less for Dingleberry, that meant Dingleberry was probably a worse horse. So I sold him, making enough money to pay to put Slapperhoosie, the superior horse, theoretically, into a race.
Now go to the track and watch Slapperhoosie race. Okay, I'm not optimistic. Oh, not a bad start. Not a good start. Oh, not a bad start. There's no way. There's no way Slapperhoosie can do it. Oh, there is a way. That tall horse is going to fall over. I told you, sledgehammer, face to the ground like an idiot. You can't beat Slapperhoosie. Oh my gosh. The first horse that I've ever put in a race. I win. I'm so proud. Goodness gracious. That's crazy, dude. Win a race.
Somehow Slapperhoosie, a random wild horse, was able to take home a win, netting me a whopping $500 prize. I rushed straight to the saloon, bought a beer for $10, and force-fed it to a random dude.
Buy a pal of beer. I got an achievement.
After his big race, the Slapperhoosie was tired, so I headed home and hit the sleep button so he could refresh. That made him 1 day older, he was now 7 out of 8, and he wanted breakfast, so I fed him some hay.
Breeding barn. We need to breed Slapperhoosie. Let's get a bunch of horses and catch them and breed them with Slapperhoosie.
I spent $200 on lassos and headed out to catch 4 horses, because Slapperhoosie had victory in his veins, and I needed him to birth a dynasty. I gave my 4 new friends epic names.
All right, let's bring these 3 and put them in races and see what kind of performance we get.
My thinking was that Slapperhoosie needed a worthy companion for breeding purposes, so I needed to test whether or not these new horses had what it takes.
Scooby, you took 10 seconds to move, bro. Sodbuster's gonna fall. I'm telling you. Whoa! What happened to Sodbuster's eye? It's safe to say Scooby-Doo is not an impressive beast. Come on, Shimmy. Let's go, Shim. Oh, come on. Not another dud start. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, brick houses are safe and strong. So I feel like there's hope. No, he's going the wrong way. Oh, he started going the right way. That's something. I feel like it's not the worst performance you've ever seen. It's not as good as Proletariat though.
And so I learned that all 3 of these horses were not particularly impressive.
Their genes are not worthy.
I took them to Bob, but what I didn't realize is that he starts paying less once his corral starts getting too full. So he only paid me $1 for Brick House. But I still had $200 left, so I sunk most of it buying more lassos. I needed some new test subjects.
Is this a pregnant one? Give me that one. $1. You have too many horses. Oh, that's why the last guy was $1, because this guy has too many horses. I see. I can't just profiteer by selling horses.
But I figured checking what the ranchers were willing to pay for each horse might be a good indicator as to the quality of their pedigree. The black horse with a grey stomach patch was worth the most, apparently. I took them all home and gave them a feed.
I didn't name this guy. All right, whatever. You can be called Horse. Let's go. Come on, Horse. The only reason I have faith in Horse is because that guy offered the most money for Horse. And maybe there's a reason for that. And maybe there's not. Oh, Slimy Eustace. Slimy Eustace has got the tech here. We have our breeding partner. Oh. Let's go.
Slimy Eustace proved his worth and made me another $500. By this point, I guessed that I was rich enough such that I wasn't allowed to bet less than $5. Also, the odds next to each horse now varied, I guess based on their track records.
Let's see if we can get 12 to 1 odds on Boulder Dash. Yeah, that went as expected. I guess I try Gray. Come on, Gray. Oh. Oh. Gray. Your limbs fell off immediately, Gray, you big turkey.
I paid Sweetie's house a visit for some reason, and she or he or whatever it is said show me any trophies you win, which prompted me to go back to the racetrack and realize I had indeed won 2 trophies thanks to Slapahoosie and Slimy Eustace. Also, the championship race was now available to enter.
Fee $250, prize $2,500. Okay, we can get a more serious race going on.
I put the 2 trophies on Sweetie's shelf to improve the vibes, and I headed to buy some hay at $5 a pop. I also bought a shovel for $95. I wandered about clicking on the map with the shovel, but nothing happened. You actually have to hold down your click to dig, but I didn't try that for some reason. I instead got on the move.
An idea has come to me about what I should do with Gray. Where's that glue store, man? Oh. Why are you upside down?
That was a dead horse, and instead of Sue's glues, I found another ranch.
Hacienda Picante. Give me 1 bottle of hot sauce for the horse?
Gray literally fell apart when I tried to race him, so I was happy to trade him in for 1 hot sauce bottle.
You only accept hot sauce as payment?
Hot sauce is extremely useful, but I didn't work that out until later. For now, I continued wandering, and I found Old Yonder Acres, where you can sunset your old horses, leaving them here to be looked after once they're retired. I then paid a visit to this normal suburban house.
Do you want some hot sauce? You glugged it.
The hot sauce made his eyes red and his speech a bit wild. I also fed him an apple. I don't really know what I was doing, I was just trying stuff.
I fear I may have just wasted my hot sauce, but it was a worthy experiment. Oh, CRISPR Lab. Welcome to CRISPR Lab. The power is out again. Find a way to restore power. Oh, I can extract DNA later.
Outside the lab were some big power lines, which I figured might be a bit of a clue. So I followed them east until I hit a mountain range, which I went around to the north. Then the lines went over some water, which I went around to the south. And I continued east until I hit a fence.
Maybe there's hope? Oh, there is a way in. Uh-huh. Power plant. The power plant has malfunctioned. How am I going to get this turbine to spin?
I put Slimy Eustace into the hamster wheel, but he was tired and unwilling to run. The nuclear power plant worker claimed he buried all the plutonium, but this green goober looked a bit funky.
Is this radioactive stuff? Can I take it?
While I failed to get my tired horses to run, I realized that dropping them on the inside edge of the hamster wheel caused it to spin a bit, and I wondered if I could get the power back on if I did this over and over.
Look at the voltmeter thingo. Dang it. Get in there. Get in there, horse.
It actually worked.
I think we're back. Yes! Oh, it's off again. Oh, I need someone in there constantly? There's no way.
It seemed to me I needed a horse that was constantly running in the hamster wheel in order for the power to stay on, which seemed like a big ask.
Does such a horse exist? How big is this map, man?
I found a dude in a tent.
What on earth is going on here? This map shows every horse on the Horsey Island.
This guy was hoping to see a population of over 400 horses with a genetic diversity of over 50%. I figured I might try to help with those goals later.
I feel like this game is more complicated than I was expecting. When I saw the paint graphics, I didn't realize I'd be horse breeding.
I found Mabel's stables, but she seemed to hate me and refused to trade horses.
You don't want any of my silly horses? What about some radiation? Uh-oh.
Mabel was very rude, so as revenge, I fed her some plutonium.
I created a GMO horse, but it's Mabel. It's Mabel, the ranch lady. Why did I feed the plutonium to her? I needed that for a next level horse.
The whole point of this adventure was to find Sue's glues, but I never did. I gave up and returned home, where I let my horses sleep to regain their energy. In the morning, I fed Slimy Eustace and Slapahoosie, and I shoved them in the breeding barn to get busy.
Get to work.
The progeny of Slapahoosie and Slimy Eustace had arrived, surely destined for greatness. You can see in the truck a bale of hay. I bought that at the shop, and the horses munch it automatically, as opposed to having to shove food in their mouths one by one. This got the crew fed, and I returned for more races.
Let's do some testing. Let's do some testing.
I couldn't race my prize-winning horses or their new child because they were still tired, but Guts was ready to go.
I think Macaroni's got this. Macaroni's got a pretty stable technique. No, it's done. Guts has done a flame and flip. Oh, little Fred. Come on, little Fred. No, it's not happening.
I already knew the black horse was a loser from yesterday, so I didn't bother giving him a race. I wandered over to Bob's instead. He'd lost his boots.
Oh, I remember. I buried them just south of my apple tree. Can you go dig them up?
I tried to, but again, I was not inventive enough to try holding down the mouse button, so no digging was done. I just assumed I was clicking in the wrong spot. I headed back down to Circle D Corral and sold my dud horses, which earned me back about $110. I'd spent $150 on the lassos to catch those three, so I'd lost out overall on them, but the $50 I'd spent catching Slimy Eustace had made me $500, so overall I was in a decent position. I bought one more lasso and caught a random horse for my next experiment.
Oh, yeah, he's got a rocking chair next to him now. That's the rocking chair of old age.
That signified that Slapahoosie was officially too old to do anything useful. No racing, no breeding, but at least I'd gotten one baby out of him.
Slap a slimy. That's a good one. All right, come on, slap a slimy. I have high hopes for you. I feel like your parents popped off. Surely are in with a good chance here. Look at Cotterpin. That's a flaming lizard.
With the blood of 2 race winners running through his veins, surely Slapper Slimy was a winner too. But sometimes children let their parents down.
Oh, the stabilizing tail of glory? Oh, slap a slimy, man. I had such high hopes. The lizard with the rotating legs is doing better than you.
Cotterpin the lizard was unironically a beast of a racer. A well-deserved win.
Well, that is just unbelievably disappointing. What about you, random horse? Oh, you know what? The random horse is not bad, except now it's upside down.
I thought for sure that I was onto a winning strategy breeding my 2 winners. And I'd had dreams of generations of Slapahoosie racehorses dominating the Horsey Game tracks. So I was a little crushed by my failure.
I'm not succeeding in making money here, am I? Oh, Sue's glues.
But when you fail in one horse-based industry, don't see it as a closed door. See it as an open window into another horse-based industry. People do be needing them adhesives.
I bred you specifically and you failed me, so you get turned into glue. For $31. You too, horse, you idiot.
My voice broke on the word glue there, which could be a result of the pubescent phase I'm currently going through, or perhaps it revealed that I was in fact choked up about sacrificing Slapper Slimy to the glue factory. Either way, I made some money based on the weight of those 2 dinguses, $71 total. Not too bad. I went east and found where the weird giraffe horses live, and I figured I might as well catch one. The plan was to shove it on the hamster wheel at the power station, with hopes that fitting it plutonium would turn it into an elite athlete capable of powering the entire land.
Oh, but it's an idiot.
It wasn't clear what the plutonium had done to the horse, but this was not working. I soon concluded that this weird giraffe horse was too lanky, too top-heavy to stay upright and get this thing spinning. But all things considered, he did a decent job.
Give me a nice, stable-looking horse.
This one looked pretty stable. Why not? I stopped off at Bubba's hutch, where I discovered Bubba's incredibly difficult challenge. He wanted me to breed a winning racehorse directly descended from one of these 3 useless rabbits.
And it must have big ears exactly like these darlings.
Doing this is of course required for 100% completion, and considering these bunnies are useless races, it's rather difficult, but more on that later. For now, I was still obsessed with trying to get the power on.
Let's give this fella some of the good stuff.
This idiot was very rigid and stupid, seemingly completely useless.
I thought he'd started running because I gave him the plutonium, but then that other horse didn't.
Usually horses will run if they're not tired or hungry. I think this dud horse just had a weird DNA anomaly, which meant that he was essentially a taxidermied stiff piece of poo. And even though I had just learned that, for some reason I tried putting him in a race.
Oh, Milk Toaster's got shoes, man.
As expected, my horse did sweet nothing.
That could explain why this flaming horse didn't do anything, because it just...
I guess I thought perhaps the horse would behave differently in a race context, but nope. I then went in for a spot of gambling, and betting on both first and second place was now an option, which jacked up the odds and therefore the potential winnings. I had Tower of Hanoi down to win and Buzz down to come second.
Oh, I might be onto something. No, Buzz. I'm gonna get the first.
Sadly, Buzz ruined my bet. Flamin' Buzz. I figured those with lower odds were probably stronger races, and I hoped that betting based on that might yield results. Obviously, the win would be smaller, but a win is a win. Sadly, this was not a foolproof tactic.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me, dude. Why did he have the lowest odds? Why has this guy got such a sick beanie? I mean, I'm back to square one here.
I don't know if you've been keeping track of my money on hand, but I was now down to $16. All the cash had leaked away as I bought lassos, which caught me only duds. As I entered those duds into races at $25 a pop, and they of course lost, and as I bet on absolute dingus horses. And so the only option left to me was to shove Slapahoosie and Slimy Eustace, my 2 old age retirees, straight into the glue factory. They won me a race each, and now they were gonna win me a few dollars, measured by the weight of glue. That got me back up to $100, and I thankfully still had 1 lasso spare from yesterday, so at least I wasn't dead broke. I caught this horse, and did not even name it because I think I was disheartened by recent failures, and I didn't want to get too attached.
Flight of the Bumblebee has a balloon. Come on, horse. Come on, horse. No, dude. You're losing to a camel with a balloon on its back, man. Oh, it's so close. Yes! Yes! Oh, don't lose to dusty trails. Okay, we're good. We're good if he ever moves again. He just stopped for 5 hours. Okay, we've won 3. So now I believe in horse.
And just like that, I believed once more. And so the horse was renamed I Believe.
Now I know for a fact that I Believe is capable of running.
I also knew he was capable of winning a race, and you can of course enter the same horse into the race again. You just need to ensure they're fed and rested and they'll be good to go. If I wasn't so fixated on getting the power plant up and running, I probably would have gone for that instead. But as it was, I was determined to get the electricity flowing because I wanted to extract DNA from a horse. By the way, the drive out to the power plant wasn't exactly quick. It was flaming far away and my truck was pretty slow. All this trudging around the map certainly was a slog.
Back at the power plant for the 60 billionth time.
I whacked I Believe on there with the giraffe, but it wasn't looking good. Just because you're capable of winning a race, it doesn't mean you've got the chops to dominate a hamster wheel. To celebrate another failure, I gave the power plant worker more plutonium or uranium or whatever, and his skin color changed from black to white. And then I did the unthinkable. Even though my race-winning horse, I Believe, had 1 day left in him before he grew old, I chose to shove him into the glue factory. It appears I may not have realized he could race again, which doesn't really make sense because why wouldn't he be allowed to race again? Oh well, I bought a few more lassos and snagged me a nice fat brown horse.
I feel like these sturdier looking horses tend to do okay because they just don't fall over. It's actually it's a pretty big factor. Oh, I lied. Oh, let's try an upside down horse. Oh, it's not upside down anymore. Oh, it's dead. You know what? That makes a lot of sense.
Dead horses are still useful as glue, so it's all good.
Oh. Has that got a leg for a tail? It does have a leg for a tail. Let's try the guy with a leg for a tail. I feel like that's a good omen. Oh, leg tail. Oh, okay, never mind. You're moving. I thought you weren't going to move at all.
Somehow, genetic mutations had begun among the wild horses.
You'd think with a 5th leg that there'd be glory. Okay, let's try the big fatty. Come on, big fatty. Wait, you're versing Guts? Guts was my horse. Didn't I put Guts in the glue factory? Gray's here as well. Wait. They start putting some of my stupid horses in the races. I know how much they suck. Wait. So if I get a bunch of grays in the mix, there's a chance I just verse 4 grays that I know explode.
And that is how I won another race, against 2 idiot horses that I sold to other ranchers. I don't know if I showed you, but trees like this is where I kept getting the apples from. And after that win, I had $864, which meant I could afford a Hyundai. So I headed to Clyde's Rides to splurge.
Did it replace... No, now I'm confused. Did it replace my front? Come back here. Oh no. What did I do that for? It's asleep? I'm so confused. Wait, do I have to use my lasso to get it back?
I thought this was going to be an upgrade to the front of my truck, but no, it's actually a horse.
That weird lizard that had the spinning feet? Maybe the spinning feet is when you breed a horse with a
with a car was where I was going with that. Maybe you can breed a lizard horse with a car horse to create lizard car glory. But here's the thing about my Hyundai. It doesn't drive. It just sits there. The whole reason I bought it was because I thought it would be perfect in the hamster wheel. But no, it was useless.
I thought it was going to just keep driving.
And that's how I made myself broke again for no real reason. I returned home and named the fat horse Guts number 2 and the other horse Legtail. And after a sleep, I was ready for some amazing breeding shenanigans.
We need to breed Guts number 2 with a car. Why did it make a antenna head dingus?
I was hoping for a horse with wheels, not a horse with an aerial on its head, but beggars can't be choosers, I guess. I managed to sell Legtail for $66. I put a couple more trophies on Sweetie's shelf, and I tried putting the Hyundai in a race. I should have already known that it doesn't move after the hamster wheel experiment, but I had hope. I shouldn't have had hope. I then gave Rhino a chance to show his worth. With Guts number 2 as a parent, Rhino surely had some chance of glory.
Please fall over, Canadian dollar. I'm not trying to wish a collapse of the Canadian economy, but oh man, I'm just not having any luck here.
In a rather disturbing turn of events, I decided Hyundai should breed with Rhino.
Rhino is Hyundai's son or daughter or something. Oh, maybe we're onto something now. Robot idiot. Look at robot idiot, man. I believe. Get back in there again, Rhino. What do we make this time? Oh my gosh. I know the name for this. This is Abomination. We get Abomination in there. We get robot idiot in there. And we make some combos. Oh, here we go. This is Spindly. I feel like we get Spindly and we get robot idiot in and we see what happens. Oh, here we go. This is Roomba. Okay. I think we're onto something. Are we onto something here? At this juncture, I feel like it's wise to get Roomba, but you put Abomination in with Roomba because you never know. Oh, okay. Rigid roller. The rigid roller. I feel like I have faith in the rigid roller at this point. If the rigid roller goes in, I like the wheels on Spindly as well. I think there's a combo to be had. Spindly and the rigid roller. The premium horse of glory. Premium Horse of Glory. All of this is speculative, but I think I may have just solved world hunger.
That was my first breeding spree in this game, the first of many, and then it was time for some glue.
Guts number 2 should make me heaps of money, right? $41 because he's a big fella. That's what we like to see. All right, now we put some of these rollers in for some races. Come on, rigid roller. Scooby-Poo is here. Oh man, Scooby-Poo from earlier. The rigid roller is useless. Is Spindly just gonna do the same thing? Dude, how do you... No, man, why are they useless? What kind of combo do you need to make the rollers actually do something? Dang it, bro. Maybe the little thing sticking out of the wheels are actually good for traction. Come on, Roomba. Show me some glory. Roomba. Roomba. You've got to be kidding me with this crap, man. I don't know why I keep trying. This is a waste of time. These ones just don't do anything. We better breed these two because why not? He's too old.
That was officially the end of my experiment breeding a car with a horse, and then interbreeding a bunch of the horse car children.
I mean, I feel like I haven't learned that anything in particular is good, except for more stocky horses seem to be more stable. And then if you get some luck with a fast, stocky horse that doesn't fall over, then you can probably win. Beyond that, I feel like I haven't learned anything.
But there was still hope for these idiots with wheels. Maybe they could work a hamster wheel, but of course not. At least I was able to recoup a fraction of my significant losses by shoving every last roller into Sue's glues.
What a shame, man.
I explored a little further afield to the west where I found another ranch.
Wait, you got a lost horse? Reward $500, answers to Black Sheep, okay.
My assumption was that this lost Black Sheep horse would literally have the name Black Sheep above its head, and that it would be a simple fetch quest type situation. This was not the case. In fact, finding this lost horse is one of the trickiest achievements in the game, as I'll demonstrate later. For now, I did try looking, but it was fruitless, although I did find some random caves. Sadly, I was unable to enter. I also found an area with funky grass, featuring many antlered horsies.
I wonder if these are worth breeding.
I couldn't resist catching this stumpy horse, and I brought home a big antlered horse too. Straight into the breeding barn they went.
Chunkers, Zesty, Squat. I mean, I don't feel great about parent and child in for breeding, but sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Just making the same horse over and over again at this point. Come on, Squat. No, Squat. Squat, no, man. But I feel like his weird square legs will get good traction on the wheel. Do you have it in you, mate?
It appears he did not have it in him. Rudolph wasn't much help either, and feeding him uranium achieved nothing.
Put Stump and Squat together. Little Sebastian, this is two-tone.
Soon the matriarch and patriarch of this strange line of stumpy horses were too old, so they were sent to become glue.
I don't know what I'm doing, man. Oh, Rudolph, man, why?
And it was time to test if any of these horses could win a race for me. By the way, remember little Fred? Somehow he was a race winner and still doing the rounds, even though I sold him to a ranch ages ago.
Come on, yes. Look at that back. Oh no. I was gonna say, look at that back foot go. Look at it, it's still going. It's twitching. Come on, man. If I lose this, I'm gonna rage quit. Why do I have faith in the short guys? What am I trying to do? What am I trying to breed for? Running backwards? Running backwards? Is that what we're doing here? No. Here it goes. Oh! If you just stick with the forward momentum, you had such hope. I'm losing it here. I don't know what to do.
I had better luck in the early game trying out random wild horses at the races. I really should have just stuck with that. But at this point, I was officially at a loss. So I hit up Google to see if I was missing something regarding getting the power plant working, and I learned something helpful. Also, some plutonium made Zesty even zestier.
Zesty got some spikes from that. I like that. So I think my original tactic of doing this could have worked if I just left as soon as it's actually powered up. Okay, I'm out. Did the power stay on? Are we in business? Oh, we are in business. The lights are on now. Electricity is needed for genetic research. Yes. Do we have any willing participants?
And so Zesty was abandoned to live in the power plant's hamster wheel forevermore. But at least the power was on.
What is going on in your head, Pokey? Surely with that on your head, you're a glorious beast. Come on, stay upright, please. No. Use the giant Pokey to flip up.
I finally farewelled Hyundai to the glue factory, earning a $22 return on the $7.99 that I'd spent.
At least I don't have to go back to the flame and power plant again. DNA extract. Gene drive. Oh. Wait, gene drive? What does that mean? That's extract? Commencing extraction. Extraction complete. CRISPR. Copy. Paste. Genome copy. CRISPR. Oh. What the heck? Cas9.
I had no idea what the heck I was looking at, except that this was obviously horsey DNA.
Is there a 20? There's a 19. Yeah, so 0 through 19. Why did it zoom in on the bean thing? Oh, did I do that? Oh, wait. I can put stuff in the bean? What does Cas9 mean? I don't know enough about genetics, dude. Does that mean that every horse has 20 different thingos with very unique combos? I'm not going to be able to figure this out. What the heck? What do I do in here?
I wondered if I could perhaps learn something about the horse's genes in here, or maybe I could edit the DNA, but ultimately I couldn't really make any sense of it.
What does gene drive do?
The gene drive imprints the DNA of whatever you have sitting in the receptacle onto whatever horse you have in the chamber. In this case, I was imprinting Pokey's DNA onto Pokey, so I imagine it didn't really do much.
I'm confused.
It seems whenever I got confused playing Horsey Game, I just shoved horses into the glue factory to help me feel better.
Maybe I just need to get a horse that performs well and then take his DNA at this point. Do you have thick legs? Come here. Thick legs. What happens if I give you this? Oh, he drank the DNA. Was that good?
That was Pokey's DNA, and Pokey was an idiot, so this was probably not good.
I mean, at least he's stable.
Stable, yes, but not fast enough.
How do we figure out what's the fast gene?
I caught another horse and had another go of it.
I'm poor again now? Come on, bendy legs. I didn't give you a name because I have no faith in you. And I don't want to get attached to you because you're going to let me down. How am I supposed to know your front leg doesn't work before I put you in the race? Rootin' tootin' is right, bro. You're done tootin', rootin' tootin'. Holy moly, man.
Confidence was at an all-time low, and I was down to $61. So I returned to making bets.
Rootin' tootin' absolutely owned in that last race, actually. I should have bet more. I'm getting to know the horses. Maybe I can be just on it with the bets. Rootin' tootin's here again. You back rootin' tootin' every time, right?
I decided to go all in, betting my life savings of $91 on rootin' tootin'.
If you let me down here, I will cry. Are you serious? Rootin' Tootin' just was steady and fast. And then he falls over immediately as soon as I'm all in. The game knows, dude. Looks like you could use some cash, yeah. Oh, okay, you're gonna take mercy on me. I appreciate that.
Old mate let me scoop poop and gave me $50 for my efforts.
I mean, that's just embarrassing, isn't it?
I immediately gambled $20 on Secret Agent, and for once, favor shined upon me.
Don't fall over, you idiot. Okay, alright. Do I just keep betting with the safety net? It's not letting me bet more than 20 now. I think it's like, you've got a problem. You're a degenerate gambler and we need to control you. Get some traction with your peg leg, Wensleydale. Baby boss is face planted. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
2 successful bets in a row is absolutely unbelievable. And suddenly, I was back up to $150. I bought a lasso and caught pretty much the first horse I saw, demonstrating that after almost 3 hours in this game, I was still using my minute 1 strategy. And guess what? This random horse fell over in his first race.
Come on, proletariat. Proletariat. Come on, baby. Come on. Let's go. I should have betted more.
At least my betting game was somehow looking strong.
Come on, little Fred. Yes, little Fred. Yes. On your back, Clont, you idiot.
That was my 4th successful bet in a row. And watching back right now, I genuinely cannot believe that streak of luck. But if I was going to make a name for myself in Horsey Land, I needed to start winning races again. Maybe Legs here would provide the break I needed.
Let's go, Legs. It was a risk getting you because you're tall, so you might just fall on your face. Oh, dude, Legs is a bit of a champion, dude. Holy. I believe in Legs. Legs can make me rich.
First, I extracted Legs' DNA. I still didn't really know what to do with the DNA, but it was nice to have. And then, once Legs was rested, I attempted to put him into the championship race.
Oh, he needs to win 2 races? Alright, go again. Go again, Legs. Oh, not shimmy. Oh, Legs, don't do it to me, dude. Oh, he nearly launched himself straight onto his back. Oh, Desperado, though. Huckleberry Extravagance. Oh my gosh. He launched. Okay, we're good. Don't worry about it. Come on, Legs. Get a good sleep in, and then there's hope.
Once a horse has won 2 regular races, you can pay $250 to enter them into the championship race.
Legs is a surefire winner. That's what I like to hear from you, Horse Master. Orange Custard has won twice, so I feel like that's our main competitor here. But I don't mind, man. I think Legs has got this. Oh, bro, are we doing it? Are we doing it? Don't fall over. Legs. Legs. You fool, Legs. That's fine. You needed a warm-up. We go to bed, we go again. Little Fred's here. Little Fred's a bit of a gun. Oh, Legs. That's just rude. What? Sometimes you need 2. You need 2 to get it out of your system. You're gonna be too old to race tomorrow. You can bring it home. You can bring it home as an old fella. Just don't flip yourself straight away, Legs. Okay? Okay? Legs.
That's the story of how Legs broke my heart into pieces.
You had a good run, Legs. You really did. and I loved you. I came to love you, but now you're glue.
With 2 races, Legs had netted me $1,000. So despite his catastrophic run in the championship races, he was objectively my best horse ever, and he'd earned me the funds to try again. I caught this bloke, named him Camel, and popped him in for a race. He tried his best, but sadly came up lacking.
That's fine. We go again. So my plan now is, let's find some other random wild horse that can win on its own merits, and then feed it or shove old mate's DNA. Oh, this guy. I like the look of this guy. Jeffrey. Come on, Jeffrey. If Jeffrey can win a race on his own merit, we shove some of that Legs DNA into him, and who knows what kind of a beast we could manufacture.
Unfortunately for me, Jeffrey was unimpressive.
Jeffrey's an idiot, but there's a chance you blew it, falls over. I told you. No, Jeffrey, don't go the wrong way. Oh, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, they've both fallen over. If you can just go the right way. Oh yes, that's the way. That's the way. Come on, Jeffrey. I mean, we got this. They're all falling over. Problem is, Jeffrey's going to turn around again before the end. I said if Jeffrey could win under his own merit, then we might blend some DNA into him. But Jeffrey did not earn this win. Therefore, it wasn't by his own merit. It was by the foolishness of the other idiots. So I'll take the $500, but I'm not investing anything into Jeffrey. Jeffrey's glue. But we will try to find someone else. Beans McStunk. Come on, Beans McStunk. I feel like the rotund horses, they've got something about them. Oh, I'm a bit worried about proctologist here. Don't flip immediately, Beans McStunk. I still got enough money for a lot of random horses here. He's got like a serious underbite. No, overbite. No, underbite. This is underbite. All right, underbite. Look at that underbite, bro. It's serious. No. Yeah. Oh, he's using his underbite to try and run forward. You know what? It's not bad. It's not a bad technique. It's not as... Oh, it might be enough. It might be enough. The underbite. Oh no. No, Mama Mua. Mama Mua's got a different technique going on back here. I'm worried about that. No, we might be okay. Mama Mua was doing something for a bit, but I think she's stuck now. That is so good. The underbite is... The underbite's helping win the race. It's so good.
The fact that this idiotic horse's underbite genuinely resulted in a win here is perhaps the funniest moment I've ever had in a video game. It is wonderful.
Oh, it's glorious, man. It's so good. Oh, sick rims. Wait, that's a named guy.
I guess Sick Rims somehow escaped from Bob's ranch or something. I don't know what happened, but I didn't hesitate to yoink the handsome fella.
Wait, can you kind of see how well they run here?
This is when I discovered if you pop the horsies onto these little strips of grass, they demonstrate their running prowess for you, so testing in an actual race wasn't my only option.
Oh, dude, Sick Rims is a bit of a legend. I don't know who I stole you from, but maybe you've got it. Maybe it's the floppy ears that I need.
Nope, Sick Rims lost to college try. Floppy ears, not helpful.
Oh, what's this? Those are my boots. Give a hoot is wearing your boots?
In the chaos, I accidentally fed Legs' DNA to Sick Rims. Whoops.
Alright, I bought Give a Hoot because he's wearing boots. He said, those are my boots, but you can have them. But there are no boots except for Give a Hoot's boots. Dude, I think giant boots might be the genius strat here. So stable and so fast. Oh, dang. Maybe I should have just been buying good horses this whole time.
Now that I'd secured over $1,000, I was indeed able to buy decent horses from rival ranches. And perhaps that was a more foolproof strategy. I extracted Give a Hoots' DNA, because of course, and when I put him into another race the following day, what do you reckon happened?
Give a Hoot has a precarious style. I was going to say she threatens to fall over, but she doesn't fall over. Never mind.
Yeah, I was yet to find a genuinely consistent horse. I gave Give a Hoot another chance the following day, but once again, she fell over.
You're gonna give me $3.90 for Give a Hoot? I'm pretty sure I paid less than that. Is that because it won?
If you win a race with a horse, their value does indeed increase. I next raced a wild horse named Square, and those square hooves were not good. Another fail. I then caught a horse with no front legs. I'm not sure why. And when I randomly paid a visit to the normal suburban house, I developed suspicions that it was in fact not a normal suburban house. A giant pot appeared from behind a bush, and the purple residue at the bottom invited me to shove Sick Rims' DNA in there.
What the heck? Horse Sim 9000. I put some DNA in the little thing, and now, oh, he's sampling it.
The Horse Sim 9000 began simulating dozens of races, using the DNA I'd provided and somehow figuring out the most optimal DNA configuration to create the ultimate racer. I wasn't really sure what was going on.
The genes of the most optimal horse are on that disc. What do you mean, the most optimal horse? Bring more DNA, more possibilities. What do I do with the floppy disk?
For some reason, I grabbed Monopods' DNA at the CRISPR lab, as if the DNA of a horse that lacks limbs was going to be handy, and then it happened again. I accidentally fed a horse DNA.
Oh crap, I just fed Monopod's DNA to that. And he lost his feet. No, dude.
The Horsey experiments were getting a little unhinged at this point, no doubt. I wandered over to Sweetie's, and when I arrived, I was granted $400 because Sweetie had made the most of my trophies.
Sweetie just said she sold some of that junk for $400. That is good news. I have a lot more junk. I think that was $100 per trophy.
Add that to the $500 you get per race win, and breeding a winner certainly was quite profitable. I added more DNA to the big weirdo's DNA pot. I think it was the horse with no feet's DNA, so it can't have been that helpful. But I ran another sim and got another floppy disk.
I kind of like the rotund ones. This is stretch. This is rotund. We're back to racing. Come on, rotund.
I guess I forgot about the idea to buy the expensive horses from rival ranches, because here I go racing random wild horses again.
Rotund, you turned around, mate. Rotund, you're losing to a Spider-Man villain. Mysterio is looking pretty steady here. Okay, Rotund's a bit of a failure. That's sad. We won't bother racing with Monopod because I think that's a foregone conclusion. He would obviously win and it would be unfair on the other competitors. Stretch has immediately gone turtle. Oblong. Oblong because he's got a rectangular tail. Flamin' oblong. Oh, sumo ring.
Somehow I had managed to entirely miss the sumo ring. I wonder if one of those rotund horses will be effective here.
All right, you want to join the sumos?
I named the sumo competitor Sumo, and I shoved him in the ring to take on Longbeard.
Let's go, Sumo. You're called Sumo for a reason. I mean, come on. Friend of children has a weird leg for a head.
The next sumo competitor certainly looked scary, but considering Sumo was now tired, I was happy with my achievement. Apparently once I defeated Longbeard, he was released into the wild, so I caught him, and then extracted more DNA at the crisper. I also figured out where to put the floppy disks.
The floppy disk goes in there, and then it recreates. You feed it to Sumo for some reason. Sumo changes colors. You extract even more DNA. You feed that to Longbeard for some reason. Longbeard burps. You shove a floppy disk in there, and then you feed him that, and then he's got a leg for a tail, and then you feed him this, and then I don't know what happened there, and you feed him this as well. Okay, good. And then you extract that, and you feed that to Sumo. And now Sumo burps. I don't know, dude. You extract this DNA, you feed both of these back into Sumo. Sumo turns into Longbeard. Is that what we wanted?
I'm not sure I achieved anything of value other than extreme horsey abuse.
I think because you're putting multiple different DNAs in there, yeah, it's creating a different pool of random crap.
I figured the more wacky genes in this bloke's garage machine, the better. Ideally, his sim would generate the most glorious horse known to man, drawing from every diverse speck of DNA in the universe.
All that DNA I fed to him didn't necessarily make him very fast, but you know what? He's doing all right. Nunagon might have it. What's on Nunagon's nose? Big wart or something? Oh, there we go. Oh, Longbeard, this is where your third leg comes in. I mean, your fifth leg. No, useless.
I gave Sumo a race too, but it was clear shoving infinite DNA into horses' mouths didn't necessarily equate to success. But by this point, Sweetie had sold those 5 extra trophies I'd given her, so I was sitting on over $2,000. I headed out for some more exploring.
Oh, what's this? Paradise Pastures. Yeah, give me a crocodile, dude.
And so Cotopin the croc horse was added to my troops. It looked like he had a pretty solid running style.
Does he got dots? Give me one of these dot horses. What on earth? Long lizard. No?
For some reason I couldn't catch the long lizard, but I did accidentally steal his meat.
What is this area?
I was very far east and thoroughly lost, and then I circled all the way west, curious to see if I could find any weird new horse varieties.
Look at this guy, he's got long features. Give me him. This guy's got a floppy head, dude. Look at that floppy head.
I guess this was the cream of the crop. So after naming the floppy head idiot Pendulum, I got busy extracting all their DNA.
Okay, I just keep shoving stuff in this guy's juice here.
I guess my logic was the more diverse DNA, the better. And since it only costs $25 to enter a race, there was no good reason not to at least give these misfits a crack.
Oh, Checker's got some back foot action going. I don't mind it. See, the thing about Wingding is, Wingding moves both legs at once a little bit better. Checkers is kind of one after the other and just kind of gyrating in spot. It's a little disappointing. I feel like Wingding could still throw this though.
Wingding did not throw the race. Bad luck, Checkers. I had much higher hopes for Cotopin.
It's such a stable movement style. Like, I don't think Cotopin could fall over, but it's not very fast. Oh, slow and steady. Slow and steady wins the race. Oh, that was close, dude. Rigid. Oh, Rigid. Not bad. Rigid's pretty stable, dude. I don't mind that. Okay.
And so Rigid proved himself a winner.
Come on, Pendulum. Go forward. I believe in... Pendulum, you idiot.
In the morning, the first goal was to breed Rigid and Cotopin, but Cotopin was a carnivore, and I couldn't get him ready for action without a bit of meat. Thankfully, I'd stolen some meat from some other lizard, so I was able to get him fed, and the 2 dinguses produced a grey horse child.
Failure. Failure. You can go in there with Rigid, who I think might be your dad. Oh, interesting.
I called the grey failure because I was hoping for more of a lizard with rotating legs, not some grey idiot. I realized I forgot to give Cherry, the little antlered horse, a race, so I remedied that and was unsurprised to see immediate flippage. But when I visited Bob's ranch, I spotted a horse that was set to change my fortune.
Bob's Best Pal looks like a dog. 720? Dude, give me this dog. This dog looks like a legend.
$720 was on the more expensive side, but that was probably a good thing. It meant Bob's Best Pal likely had what it takes to be a winner. My new hobby was extracting DNA from pretty much everything that moves, and then shoving that DNA into the cauldron. I also finally bothered to check what the stats on the horse sim meant.
Oh, V is for genetic variance. G is for generation. R is for race. T is for lap time of the winning sim horse.
A low number after the T meant the floppy disk horse would theoretically be fast, with a low lap time. I made a few more sim horse floppies to see how the stats played out, and though I assumed the optimal horse made from the DNA soup would always be the same, that obviously wasn't true. Based on the differing V and T stats, a brand new quote-unquote optimal horse was being designed every time. At this juncture, I would have been wise to experiment with the gene drive option at the CRISPR, but I think I totally forgot that existed, and instead I turned all the floppy disk into DNA juice and made the poor dog eat it all.
Bob's Best Pal is looking good, dude. Get Bob's Best Pal's DNA.
I did not have high confidence in my current strategy of force-feeding ungodly amounts of DNA into innocent dogs, but it sure was fun. And in this case, at least Bob's Best Pal was a winner.
Oh, he's not bad, dude. Holy moly. Wait, how old is Bob? Bob just owned. Oh, Bob, you're young as well.
This meant I could sleep through several nights, giving me plenty of time to win more races and perhaps even get Bob breeding after that. Bob absolutely dominated his second race.
It's time for a championship win, I believe.
I still had a decent amount of cash, so $250 to enter the championship race wasn't a big deal at this point. And I now had high confidence. The race went so well, I barely even bothered to get excited.
Easy game from Bob. Absolutely no concerns. Let's go, Bobathan. Too easy. Boom.
Just like that, I had won a championship race. I earned $2,500 and I got quite a juicy prize, though I didn't actually notice and I drove away before claiming the thing on the pedestal. Luckily, it was automatically granted to me.
Alright, let's leave these at Sweetie's house. Maybe I get extra money for the championship trophy?
I'm not sure how much of Bob's Best Pal's success was due to his original genetic material, the base dog creature I had paid $720 for, and how much was due to the many liters of optimal sim horse DNA I'd made him glug. But either way, things were looking up. I grabbed Super Bob's DNA and added it to the DNA soup before having the sim spit out a couple more floppy disks.
Oh, I've got a magical lasso now. I got that from being champion. I don't have to buy lassos anymore. Nice. I didn't even notice because I'm not paying attention.
It's true, the magical lasso was reusable. No more lasso purchases necessary. I bought Nunagon, a good horse based on the cost price, and I pursued the same tactics, feeding him a bunch of floppy disk DNA.
Nunagon's got a straw on his head now. I'm not sure if I improved Nunagon or made Nunagon worse. Does have inbuilt tail stabilization? No, not quite.
After the success of Bob's Best Pal, I was brought back down to earth. Sometimes you end up with a straw-haired idiot that gets stuck, but I figured Nunagon was at least worthy of breeding with Bob's Best Pal. Soon Dingus was all grown up.
Dingus looks pretty good, dude.
I would have raced Bob's Best Pal again just to farm money, but horses are only allowed to win one championship, and after that they aren't allowed to re-enter the race. So I figured it was wise to turn my attention to the next generation.
Schmozzle's not doing too bad here. No? Schmozzle's gonna stack it? Okay, Dingus. Nice job.
Dingus was pretty slow, sadly, but at least he was stable. I spawned in some brothers or sisters, or whatever, for Dingus.
Dingus can have a baby with Bob's Best Pal. Oh, that made a good noise. Okay, let's give Leverhead a go. Hippopotamus. Dude, you nearly fell over. I keep giving these to Sweetie. How much money is Sweetie gonna give me? 1,300? I think I got 1,000 gold for the championship trophy there.
I attempted to make Leverhead a championship horse, but it failed to win its second race. But T-Rex seemed to have the dog in him.
T-Rex has got a bit of his grandfather in him, or his dad. Oh, T-Rex has got speed, dude. And a fearsome roar. Holy!
Meanwhile, I didn't want to waste the daily energy of the random horses chilling back at home, so I bred them. Might as well spawn in some more random horses. Bob's Best Pal had reached old age, so I gave him an emotional farewell into the bowels of Sue's Glues before getting T-Rex back on the track.
I think T-Rex outdoes Bob's Best Pal.
T-Rex was indeed a mover, and it seemed I had the beginnings of a winning horse dynasty. A lot of the horses I'd bred were carnivores, due to some chaotic influence of all the DNA chugging that Bob's Best Pal did, and I'd now run out of meat. But I'd bought a gun from that research tent for $50, so it was time to test it out.
If I shoot Dingus... Oh, Dingus becomes delicious meat. How much? 44 meat on Dingus. Okay, great. Sorry, Dingus. I mean, yeah, whatever. You deserved it. All right, here we go. T-Rex has got no worries. Surely. Some of the other competitors had a bit of pace out the gate, but no one's as stable and fast as T-Rex. It's a hard combo to find, and T-Rex has got it. Another championship, suddenly I'm up to 10 grand.
The championship prize pool went up by $500 each time, so that was another $3,000. And I won another prize too.
Legendary golden shovel that time?
Unfortunately, I was still too stupid to figure out how to actually use a shovel. Somewhere in the chaos of the past few days, twins had been born. To which parents, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. They were a part of Bob's Best Pals dynasty, one way or another. Anyway, I named them B1 and B2, and I gave them both a crack at the races, and both of them won. But unconvincingly. They weren't as spicy as T-Rex, that's for sure. The following day, a horse I named Beans was of age.
Oh, I don't mind Beans. No, a bit slow. Oh, Snapple, dude. Oh, is slow and steady gonna be enough here? So close. Oh, it was enough! Huge to behold.
Beans seemed promising, so I had him make a baby with T-Rex. And frankly, I have no idea where Gloopus came from, but it was his turn next.
I feel like Gloopus has something. And I'm not just talking about the globules stuck to its head.
Gloopus had enough for another win, and you can't complain about that.
There's a strong lineage coming all the way down from Bob's Best Pal. No one can deny that. Little guy might have it. Oh, little guy's pretty good, dude.
All those winners of the past few days probably could have been given a shot at the championship, but I was being picky. I wanted a horse with the speed of a Bob's Best Pal, or of a T-Rex. Little guy was pretty solid though, so I went and cooked up a bunch of random floppy DNA. I had the crisper make DNA milkshakes, and by the time Little Guy had enjoyed many choice beverages, he was a darker brown than I remembered. I soon discovered all that DNA had not helped. In fact, I think it diluted the glory of Bob's Best Pal, and transformed Little Guy from a decent little goer into a dud.
Oh, Basil's got beans.
Don't worry though, because Basil is here. He won convincingly. Meanwhile, back at my home, there were quite a few funny looking horses kicking about. Basil easily won his next race, and with 2 wins under his belt, it was championship time.
Do not stack it, Basil. Oh, dude, this championship race is easy. Basil's popping off. Oh, I pressed the... Why on earth did I do that?
I accidentally gave up on that race. I don't know what happened there, but it's all good. The next day, Basil won my 3rd championship, despite a pretty good showing from Jerome.
Open your gift basket. 16 megabytes of EDO RAM.
Another $2,000 came in from Sweetie selling all my old trophies, and I officially felt rich with over $18,000 in my wallet, somehow. I'd managed to get into the swing of things, and at this point I no longer cared about $30 here and there from Sue's Glues. Instead, I released all my random unwanted horses into the wild. Free to breed or get eaten or whatever, I don't care. The next time I went to the crisper, I decided to feed the scientist weirdo a bunch of DNA, until he had no arms and fell over onto his back. I bought a Coupe de Ville and bred it with Basil, and somehow they produced a long rectangle horse. I occasionally placed a bet just for the fun of it, and in this case, the horse I backed won by literally a nose length. And I guess something went wrong down the generations, because Bob's Best Pal's grandson, or great-grandson, or something, named Long Idiot, was useless. Falafel was also useless.
Falafel's got a rotating back leg. Dude, what is going on? I think the stock has fallen. Oh, dude, I thought you had more than that, Chubbaroony. Oh, there it is. Bit late to the party. I don't hate it though.
At least Chubbaroony was able to bring glory to the family name. I continued to bandy about with floppy disk DNA, but truth be told, I wasn't using the CRISPR lab to its full potential, not even close. But more on that before long. For now, I continued throwing horses at the racetrack. Chubbaroony lost his 2nd race, but Scoobs looked solid.
Number 1 is gonna catch you. Scoobs! Scoobs! Move, Scoobs!
Okay, maybe Scoobs wasn't so solid. I chose to give Chubbaroony another chance, and a couple of days later, he did earn entry to the championship race, which he managed to win.
Alright, I'll take it. Chubbaroony... Oh, what the hell?
It appears I won a chicken, or a chocobo, or something. I immediately entered Jouster in a race, but it was not a great showing.
Oh, it sucks.
I wasn't complaining though, because I was of course able to extract some weird bird DNA. I fed Jouster some DNA, I had Jouster participate in some friendly breeding exercise, but it must be said, after a fair bit of experimenting, it became clear that chicken horses were complete garbage. After my glorious streak winning with a couple of generations of Bob's Best Pal horses, I was now back into struggle territory. I revisited Clyde's rides and finally bought those upgrades I'd seen way back when, starting with the suspension lift.
Oh, wait, so I'm zoomed out now? Oh, that's helpful.
I also bought the racing stripes, $250 as well.
That is how I drive a sweet truck. Oh, I'm way faster? Dude, what? I saw those upgrades ages ago, but I assumed they worked on these cars for some reason. Okay, this helps. This helps a lot.
I'd explored almost the entire giant map with my flamin' slow truck, with a massively zoomed in poo view. If only I'd had these upgrades. They weren't even expensive. I stopped by Bubba's and decided to grab pugnacious asparagus, although I'd been struggling to breed any winners recently, so I don't know why I thought I had any chance of breeding a rabbit-based winner. While I was enjoying my newfound speed and zoomed out glory, I finally used my shovel.
You have to hold down? I never tried holding down.
I dug up a poop, I dug up a clip-on necktie.
Did I dig up a tie? Oh, I can put it on narrow data.
I dug a mountain and made it into a cave, another cave that I could not enter, and I visited the old abandoned racetrack, where I realized this was a great spot to test out the racing chops of my horses, without making them tired. In this case, I learned pugnacious asparagus did not have the makings of a varsity athlete. Before long, I dug up a bone that earned me an achievement.
I dug up a fossil.
And I finally dug up Bob's boots, buried just south of the apple tree near his house, just as Bob said. I put them on narrow data and earned another achievement. But this is definitely the most interesting thing I dug up. Some kind of insect horse with at least 3 legs.
Dude, no way. I got a millipede? Okay, I should have been digging sooner.
I also learned that if you dig up grass, you get hay that you can grab, which is of course great for feeding your horses. The weirdos I had chilling in my corral were already getting a little ridiculous, but with a many-legged bug in the mix, things were about to get even more wacky.
Alright, you definitely mate with pugnacious asparagus to make this guy somehow. That makes no sense.
I discovered Narrow Dieter's giant boots did not help his racing prospects. I tried breeding Dieter with the millipede because I thought it would be funny if I created a millipede with 1,000 boots on, and basically it was a breeding free-for-all.
What is going on with this guy? He's on a sled. Call him Sled. I think I bricked Narrow Dieter by giving him boots, but maybe Boots will be good with Boots, because Boots' name is Boots. No, Boots is tripping over his own boots as well. I got a one-legged rabbit horse out of that. That's not what I wanted.
I somehow made a flat-looking kangaroo creature, a bendy leg abomination, and a few more weirdos, but I eventually decided this entire cursed experiment was a failure. I shoved all of them in the truck and then let them loose in the wild, unleashing what was no doubt a catastrophic stampede of defective DNA into the ecosystem.
Look at all these guys just died as soon as I let them out. How have I not seen this the whole time? What is this? The circus?
There were a few tents with various circus tricks to attempt, and I figured Sled might be good at diving. Unfortunately, Sled seemed incapable of movement. Maybe the weird kangaroo can do it.
For goodness sake, bro. Freaks. Maybe that's what I need to do.
So I had some circus challenges to knock over, but I didn't exactly have premium horses with me, so I decided to leave that until later. I tried putting boots on one of the millipedes, but it only put one boot on the front foot. Also, I worked out you can put horses directly into the DNA soup, so I got rid of these clowns. I also worked out what to do with the 16 megabytes of RAM that I'd found.
Oh, it goes right there.
Now the simulation was equipped to run twice as long, which I guess would theoretically result in horse DNA twice as good. This also meant I had to wait around twice as long for the sim to run, but I hoped I'd get some insanely juicy DNA out of it, especially considering that by this point I dumped so many random varieties of horse into the DNA soup that the simulator was sampling from.
If I do this and then gene drive, can I create a horse? Must have a target.
Finally, I had moved on from the chaos of my earlier strategy, which to be fair worked pretty well for a decent stretch, but now I was going to make some gene drive shenanigans happen.
These are the genes of like a 12-second lap time horse. Just shove it on this random horse. Oh, it does get completely changed. What the hell? My assumption was that the base horse I was using would influence, which surely it does. Is it going to make the exact same thing again? It is. But this is supposed to be an insane horse. It's such a weird looking horse. Sacre Bleu kind of sucks, dude. He's so slow. Everyone else just fell over. Oh, do that again.
I don't know why I bothered to race Sacre Bleu, but whatever. The real test was to find out if the floppy disk horse, which supposedly was capable of a 12-second lap time, based on the sim's stats at least, was actually decent. I wasn't particularly confident considering how ridiculous the horse looked, but man, it was pretty good on the track.
You just keep cloning the same horse?
After discovering the fascinating power of floppy disk DNA plus the gene drive, I wasn't sure about the point of breeding the old-fashioned way anymore, but I was definitely still keen to experiment. Also, Abomination was a beast.
Almost stands up like a human on the tail leg. Dude, Abomination is kind of sick. Abomination is a legend of the game, man. Look at him. Groovy Herpes Cat's got nothing. What's this rock? that gonna trip the groovy herpes cat over?
It was almost too easy, to be honest. The Abomination won the championship race like it was nothing. At this point, with the gene drive, I could have printed carbon copies of Abomination and had that same DNA win the championship too, over and over again, generating infinite wealth. So I officially felt like the money situation was solved. However, doing that seemed boring, so I pivoted back to rabbit breeding.
Let's try this again with Bluebeard's bride.
In the chaos, I'd gotten rid of the first rabbit Pugnacious, so I needed to be careful. If I used up all 3 of Bubba's rabbits and lost track of their bloodline, I'd lock myself out of doing Bubba's quest and the achievement in this playthrough. My thinking here was that Abomination's genes might mesh with the rabbit to create a decent runner, but early tests were not promising. I soon gave up, because these wacky rabbit spawn needed to be both good runners and to have perfectly formed rabbit ears, and neither of those traits were showing up. I wanted another optimal floppy disk horse, so I headed to my neighbor who cooked up a horse capable of a 12.6 second lap time. The plan was, of course, to use that floppy disk horse in the gene drive to bring the simulation to reality.
What is this thing? What abominations are we making here, dude?
I don't know what obscene mix of DNA results in a beast like this, but it sure was intriguing. And this is when I learned that the lap time stat of the simulation isn't exactly reliable. The horse might be fast in spirit, but if it immediately falls over, it's simply not going to go anywhere. But maybe, when mixed with Bluebeard the rabbit, a legendary horse would appear.
I think this guy's got the right ears.
Squeak.
It's squeaking?
Squeak. Squeak.
It's talking.
Squeak. I slept through the night and had a look at Squeak's running technique. He actually seemed to be a decent runner, and he was also speaking human words. I don't know how that happened.
That weirdo with the 3 legs and like the floppy situation going on was terrible, but his genes were strong, and they just completely... That's incredible.
I had done it. I won a race with a direct rabbit horse descendant, who also had the correctly shaped floppy rabbit ears. I headed straight to Bubba's, expecting him to reward me, but he wasn't impressed.
Those ears are the same, aren't they? It's the same square?
The way you turn this quest in is by dragging the successful horse into Bubba's corral. But I did not realize this, so I assumed the ears weren't quite right, or something. And I guess that's the story of how I missed out on an important achievement, that I earned in quite stylish fashion, by the way. A bit of a disappointment, but I carried on racing and breeding, and the results of the breeding became weirder and weirder.
Holy, I got a barcode. This guy's mooing. This is moo cow. I think Squeak can't even fall over, because the tail stops any falling over. Insane performance from Squeak.
For that championship win, I got a random horse called Call Me Ishmael. He sucked.
He does like the bum drag that dogs do. I don't hate that. What you need to do is you need to... Bum shuffler, come on dude. Can the Minotaur do anything? I think he's just gonna fall over.
I don't know how I produced a Minotaur, but yeah, tall horses with a narrow stance are not a good plan.
I can't believe I'm not getting credit for winning the race though.
Yeah, I of course had to do the whole rabbit thing again later, because here's the end of that particular chapter of breeding, as I released this horde of misfits. I paid a visit to the research tent.
Oh, the pop is 400. I gotta get the gene diversity up.
Based on the graph, the population seemed to naturally fluctuate, but gene diversity seemed to stay fairly steady at about 40%, unless I intervened. I'd been intervening recently by releasing all manner of genetically insane creatures, and I planned to keep doing that, in hopes I could help hit the research dude's goals.
Actually, I saw a clip. This is what I need to do.
By this point, I'd seen a couple of Horsey Game videos on YouTube, and I learned you can make humans blackout drunk. It only took 3 beers, and suddenly Zed here had completely lost control of his body. Gad soon followed, and I dragged both of their floppy bodies into my truck.
Get Gad in there? Sorry, Gad. Okay, so now I've got some human DNA in the mix. And I think we use Zed. And what could go wrong? Is it 2 people stuck together? Some sleepy Zeds coming here and here. I think there are 2 heads. We're talking 2 heads.
I think I reached a new low with this one. Or maybe a new high, depending on how you look at it. It was pretty clear this particular shape of horse was not capable of winning a race. So these guys became a way to inject some more genetic diversity into the wild. With that, I thought maybe I'd made headway towards the 50% genetic diversity goal. So I visited the research tent again and learned that the population had somehow plummeted, and now diversity was still at 45%. The research goals were going to take a bit of work. I cooked up another sim horse, and the gene drive made it a reality, looking like this. It had promising spinny limbs, but it also seemed prone to flipping. A failure in terms of racing, but still usable for diversifying the gene pool. And so breeding commenced. Lanky was the product of this session. He had a long neck, and he fell over immediately when put in a race. At around this point, I paid a bit of attention to the achievements I needed to hunt down, and I saw one that might be doable immediately, as I bet $1,000 on Groovy Hepcat.
Come on, Groovy Hepcat, not angel draws. Fall over, you idiot. sucked in.
With that successful bet, the achievement was mine.
Win $1,000 on a bet. That's exactly why I did that, and it worked out straight away. That's what I like to see.
I enjoyed even more breeding. I dumped another truckload into the wild, and then I couldn't believe it. Genetic diversity had dropped to 39%. But then as I was watching, the stat updated, and the army of freaks I just released represented a 5% jump. I occasionally dug holes, and fossils continued to show up. This sparked the idea that I could probably extract DNA from the fossils, and then I could use the gene drive to effectively clone the long-dead horse. I did this with a few fossils, and it led to the most normal horses I'd seen in a long time. I also extracted DNA from an apple, and found great amusement when it was used in the gene drive.
No way, dude.
I extracted DNA from some wheat, and that resulted in quite a cute horsey.
It's a little hay monster. I might be able to find dinosaur fossils. That was a beanie. I have an apple tree and a wheat monster make a baby.
Here we go again, more insane breeding. And surely none of these horses is actually useful for anything other than increasing the genetic diversity of the island. But still, I was yet to meet the research goals. I had the Horse Sim 9000 cook up another horse, you know the drill, and this time I was onto a winner.
Oh, Zuby is a legend of the game. Holy crap. Oh, he nearly flipped. Okay, I might have spoken too soon about Zuby. Zuby's got the whirlwind, the helicopter. Don't flip, Zuby. It's insane. It's insanely good. Oh, Zuby. Oh, even if you flip Zuby, it doesn't matter. It matters. You're kidding.
Zuby definitely had a flip risk, but in this second attempt at the championship, there happened to be a rock in Zuby's lane, and I think it actually helped. Yet another title win meant yet another prize, and this time I got a ram bar for my truck. I thought it might let me run over horses, but no, I wasn't really sure what the point of this was. And then it was time for the circus. I tried getting this horse to complete the strong horse feat, but he said, forget it, buddy. Maybe I mixed too much human DNA into these horses. This guy was a little chatty. The next wild horse I forced into service performed perhaps the most majestic dive you've ever seen, earning $500 and securing the dive achievement. The trampoline event seemed tricky. 4 successful bounces had to happen without the horse falling off, and the acrobat trick seemed rather difficult too, requiring a horse capable of crossing the distance without the hula hoop man falling off. Those were the 4 events I needed to win. Diving was done, but the other 3 eluded me for now. I roamed about with my lasso, and I was soon ready to throw yet more horses at the circus, hoping one would stick. But for the strong horse event, I came with a plan. I was pretty sure the legend Zuby would be up to the task.
Champion in the race. Champion of the strong horse. Zuby truly is a hero, dude. Zuby is a hero.
As you can see, with each successful circus trick, a lock on the front of the mysterious tent was opened. I had several horses attempt the trampoline and acrobat ones. I thought this funny little guy had a good chance at the bouncing thanks to his small stature, but I'm not sure that logic checked out and he went flying. But what about this French fry?
Surely the French fry oblong dingus can just go for it. Oh. Not bad. Don't go too far. Does that count? Oh, come on. He stayed on.
At least I'd managed to knock over 2 circus tricks. But now it was time to brew up a new floppy disk sim horse. In fact, I printed a few copies, and they were impressive on the track. Very impressive.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to see. Look at that. That's an insane technique. This is a close race. Oh, big legend, you lost. Oh, no, you didn't.
I put multiple copies of the same horse in a few races, racking up some wins, and I also bred this hilarious creature named Fiddlesticks. Fiddlesticks did not quite have the skills of his dad.
Come on, Fiddlesticks. Oh! Almost had it in the last.
I had Hero, the spinning dingus with 2 red spikes, win a championship, earning me $6,000 and a funny lizard woman named Golden Girl. I of course grabbed her DNA immediately. Then I was struck with a thought. Perhaps Hero would make for an excellent sumo wrestler.
Friend of children. Did I lose or did I win?
Somehow, Hero lost that. Friend of children with a tail for a head was too powerful.
I lost that because friend of children didn't move? That's an impossible strategy to beat when it comes to sumo wrestling.
I of course shoved Golden Girl into the breeding shack, and her baby said something funny.
Being born is sweet.
Big Legend had somehow won 3 races by this point, but I wanted him in a championship race. However, there weren't enough winning horses in the pool, so the race master encouraged me to watch some more races. I did so, and with Fair Dinkum's victory, he was added to the group of horses eligible for the championship lineup. And so a race was ready, and I was able to get Big Legend in amongst it, for a comfortable win. The prize was $6,500 and a cactus.
What do I do with the cactus? Oh crap, I fed it to the bunny.
That happens so many times in this game, I'd be just trying to put stuff back in the truck and fail to remember that horses do like to munch.
I want that cactus in the gene pool. So you know what that means? That means bunny's going in the gene pool because the bunny had the cactus. I can't believe I fed that to the flaming bunny. The elderly bunny got my cactus.
I enjoyed yet another lovely session of insane breeding shenanigans, which led to the production of this hilarious horse.
I'm not sure what I was thinking with this guy. Doesn't seem very good. Oh. never mind. Maybe he's amazing.
I can't believe how deadpan I sound. I guess I'd become somewhat numb to all the insane horses, but this flailing lunatic is at least a 7.5 on the amusing scale.
I feel like Wheelbarrow's got what it takes. Come on, Wheelbarrow. Well, you gotta go, mate.
I released the most unhinged army of horses so far into the wild, and checked in at the research tent.
Oh, so close with the gene diversity. It went up like crazy.
Seeing a sim horse with a lap time of just 11 seconds was exciting, but that was just one of 3 floppy disk monstrosities I generated at this point. I wanted to keep doing what I was doing until that genetic diversity stat was through the roof, and it seemed to me this was the best way to do it. I was spending 4 or 5 days at a time one-upping myself, with more and more ridiculous breeding sessions, and frankly, it was wonderful. Soon there'd be none of those boring vanilla horses left in the universe.
How is genetic diversity down after that? Are you kidding me? You know what I should be doing? I should be sunsetting them on the beautiful farm.
Now that I understood the gene drive could poop out a straight up clone, I realized I really should have been keeping my elite horses at the retirement home, so they'd be on standby and I could suck out their DNA and create a clone whenever I wanted. Golden Girl certainly was not an elite horse, but she was a unique prize I'd received, so it seemed wise to keep her. By the way, I'd worked out what the bull bar upgrade for the truck did. It allowed me to crash through fences. Also, gene diversity was actually up to 55%. I just hadn't waited around long enough earlier to see it update. Sadly, I was 15 horses shy of the population requirement.
I should catch and produce.
I also bought every horse from this ranch, and then went on an absolute rampage breeding them all. And I cheered every time I saw a pair of twins. Gotta get those numbers up. This was definitely way more than 15 new horses introduced to the island. The question was, had a bunch of horses died in the intervening period?
Are you kidding me? How is the population so low?
It did go up a little with the slightly delayed recording of all the nerds I just released, but there must have been a horse plague or something.
This population and diversity challenge is doing my head in, man.
So I left it for now, and indulged in some sumo wrestling instead.
Dang it, man.
Okay, maybe not. How about some circus events instead? Okay, maybe not. By this point, I'd heard that there are water horses.
What?
Wait. I caught a few of these aquatic horses. Actually, I guess they're just seahorses. That's actually perfect. I put them in this enclosure for some reason, and they all began dying because they were sea dwellers and there was no water in that enclosure. I decided that was poor form and rescued them, returning them to the water. To be honest, I was a bit listless at this point. I could have easily made $5,000 and then had enough to pay for Sweetie's horse flu treatment, but I was looking for sillier stuff to do, which of course led me back to the CRISPR. Remember this funky DNA screen? What I'd missed way back when is that you can use your lasso in here.
Wait, what?
Oh,
Dude, I didn't understand I could use my flaming lasso in here. I have no idea what any of this does though.
The last time I came into this crazy CRISPR world, I didn't have my infinite lasso yet, and I didn't have any lassos on me. So the ability to do this hadn't even crossed my mind.
That was the achievement to CRISPR a gene. That's how you literally edit a gene.
But I had no concept of what editing which gene would do, so this wasn't exactly useful. I was gonna have to experiment. But before that, I figured I should get Sweetie cured.
I can do what I was doing before though, and just get this thing to generate a horse for me. I've had like maybe 50% success rate where they're capable of actually winning races. Convert him into... What the heck? Kind of looks like a Stiletto.
For some reason, I had this feeling that Stiletto would be a sumo legend, and it did seem to go pretty well in this bout against the formidable friend of children.
Nice job, Stiletto. Stiletto could be the sumo champion here, dude.
Unfortunately, Stiletto was pretty old, so I yoinked friend of children, who happened to be young.
Let's turn friend of horses into a new Stiletto. Will he look any different? No, he's exactly the same.
The next day, Stiletto was officially a geriatric, so I put him in the aged daycare, and friend of children subbed in to unleash his power upon the sumo world.
There's no way anyone can beat this guy. There's no way. I'm just gonna go back and forth with this, I think. There's no way anyone's beating this guy. What a legend, dude. Wait, did I win then? Wait, did I not win? I didn't win. Wait, what? All right, let him fall over this time. Did I win that time? I won that time, right? Yeah, I did. How did I lose last time?
This horse was ridiculously overpowered for sumo wrestling. Falling into the ring and taking up pretty much the entire ring before the gong even sounds it's kind of cheating. However, it seemed the win conditions for the sumo were a bit weird sometimes.
Oh, this is a type fight. How does he win that? What do you mean? Push him. What? Friend of why is this guy's name Friend of Children? When you look like this, I feel like it's illegal for you to be a friend of children. Let's try again. If I lose, so help me. Okay, I won that one. Forbidden Dumbo. Oh, it's too easy. Olympic champion, Centrifugal horse.
Sadly, Friend of Children was now too old, so he wasn't able to see the sumo conquest through.
I would like to try Fabibalumbo in the Acrobat. I feel like he's got something about him. No, he's an idiot. Let's try Et tu brute. Et tu brute. Et tu. Oh, whoops, I put him in the trampoline. Oh well, it is what it is. It didn't work out for me.
These were all the former sumo champs. I'd caught each of them after they were cut loose when they lost.
The undulator, he's undulating? No. He has more chance of performing gloriously if I call him something. Alright, get in there, flat guy. Oh, flat guy! Oh. Alright, who's becoming the sumo champion? I think the undulator is fine.
And so the undulator took the form of some stilettos. And in that form, the undulations rang true, and the Olympic champion was easily defeated.
Oh, the world champion? Notable Milwaukeean. That looks like a cow to me, dude. That's straight up udder. I reckon I can beat a cow with my stiletto monster. Is that a reference to cows in Milwaukee? I have emerged victorious. That was it. World champion! The undulator. You legend. The stilettos. No, you should never have doubted the stiletto. Wait, what is this? A rocket? I mean, that's huge though. I won the sumo belt. A big solid cow. Yes? Oh no, you need to go forward though, you big solid cow.
I paid a visit to Clyde's Rides and made another purchase.
Put the rocket on the Oldsmobile. Oh my gosh. That's exactly what I was saying just before. I need a stable roller. And now I've got it in the Oldsmobile. Is it gonna be...
I extracted the Oldsmobile's DNA and attempted to edit it using the CRISPR.
How do I know what does what?
I immediately lost all confidence and Googled it to discover some insane people had tested every single helix to figure out how it all fits together. I learned that this helix determined the horse's body size, except I couldn't decipher exactly what I was supposed to do to Helix 6 in order to make the body wider, which is what I wanted from my Oldsmobile. I wanted a wider car.
Alright, I just swapped those around. What does this do?
I imprinted the slightly modified DNA onto a new horse, and there was no evidence that anything was different. To explain, probably incorrectly, but whatever, basically each helix affects a category of horse traits. For example, as I said, Helix 6 is body size, and then each gene position on the helix is filled by one of 4 colors / letters. A yellow A, a blue C, a green G, or a red T. These control the nature of that specific trait. For example, apparently position 1 on Helix 6 controls skinniness. Look at this guide by Croquet explaining it all. I found it extremely confusing, so I immediately pivoted.
Surely Oldsmobile just wins, right? It's a rocket car. What chance does anyone else have? That's crazy, dude. I mean, surely I can just keep giving cars this rocket and I never lose again, right? How would I ever lose?
I think it's safe to say that rocket-powered cars are quite good at racing.
I need to test something. Yeah, I get the rocket back, which means I can now buy the Saab. I can just do this to farm championships. I don't know how many championships there are. I'm very curious.
With that, I had more than enough money to pay for Sweetie's medical bills. So I wandered into her home and handed over the $62,375.
I'll formulate the cure. Formulating.
The cure looked just like a delicious bottle of DNA juice. So I had an idea.
I'll come back and maybe pour it in your mouth. First, I want to make a horse out of it.
And so I made a horse using the DNA in Sweetie's cure.
Is this what it made?
I couldn't quite believe that it produced a 3-headed abomination.
I didn't get it mixed up, did I? Cured. So I cured Sweetie's flu by giving her the genes of this thing. Thank you for playing Horse Game. My name is Justin Smith and I'm responsible for this game. That might be a war crime, Justin Smith. Show the credits, Sweetie. Game credits.
Yeah, so I guess I quote-unquote beat the game, because Sweetie was back on her feet after a long illness.
Sweetie's Cure. Honestly, Sweetie's Cure is a pretty good name for a horse.
Curing Sweetie was the main story objective of the game, but I had a bunch more work to do, including trampolining.
Could be a perfect trampoline candidate. Uh-oh, maybe not. Could be one of the worst trampoline candidates you've ever seen.
Sweetie's 3-headed cure was not good on the trampoline. I had 8 more achievements to knock over, and several of them were quite challenging, requiring the scientific genius that I simply did not have. But I was going to try my heart out. My first experiment involved killing this car so I could take back the rocket, and then putting the rocket on a rabbit.
Surely this is a no-brainer. No. Oh, no, the rocket is counterproductive. Crap, I don't know if I can take the rocket off now.
At this point, I was worried I was going to use up all my rabbits, which would lock me out of Bubba's quest. So I made a replacement distant bagpipes. This obviously wasn't a naturally bred descendant of Bubba's bunny, but I thought maybe I could get away with fooling him.
And roller skates. Okay, we could be onto something here. Oh no, that's not what we want.
If only there was a little more helium in that balloon. Perhaps it would have held the rabbit up high enough to get a roll-on happening. Alas, the helium was insufficient.
Every other horse is like useless in this particular race. If we can just get some luck with the rocket. Come on, bagpipes. Yes, yes, no. No, not that way. Oh, I just needed you to do that in the opposite direction.
You may recall I finished this silly rabbit quest ages ago. I was just too stupid to hand it in at the time. But overall, I'm glad about that failure, because as a result, we got to witness this balloon rabbit glory. The second attempt wasn't as funny though. The rocket kept the rabbit completely pinned down. I headed back to the CRISPR, where I was now attempting to edit the rabbit genes, hoping that perhaps I could make a more stable bunny, somehow. On the first experiment, I made minor changes, and again, there were no visible differences. I then got into the first helix and moved a whole bunch of crap around.
What difference will there be? It's exactly the same. I'm so confused.
I went even crazier in helix number 7, desperate for my meddling to actually do something.
Oh, I successfully did something.
I changed the DNA, and I made a long rabbit.
Come on, long rabbit. Long rabbit, I believe in you. Oh, you idiot, long rabbit. How did I make the rabbit so long? I don't even know what I did.
At this point, I shot and killed the original distant bagpipes because I wanted the rocket back.
I've still got his DNA, so hopefully that counts for the achievement. Otherwise, I'm screwed.
I felt like Long Rabbit with a rocket could be a stroke of genius.
Oh, come on, long rabbit.
Everyone else fell over.
You can do it. You can do it. Come on, long rabbit. Yes, long rabbit. Considering they all fell over, maybe I would have been fine without the rocket. But I think there's a victory here.
It was actually working, sort of, and there was a chance of victory, but I was gonna have to wait around for a while because it wasn't exactly fast. Eventually, the long noodle rabbit did indeed win this race.
Now, does that count?
This time, I actually tried to drag the rabbit into the corral. Alas, this was never gonna work. This was a genetically edited clone of Bubba's rabbit, and that did not count. The game was smart enough to know that it was not a descendant of the original rabbit.
I think I just bricked this quest.
Yeah, I had used up all 3 of Bubba's pets, and partly because I thought maybe I could get away with the cloning, and partly because I'm an idiot, I'd failed to preserve any true rabbit descendants.
Maybe I just renamed this guy Distant Bagpipes.
Nope, not allowed. Bubba's real rabbits have specially colored names, so these random rabbits I'd simply renamed Distant Bagpipes were not going to get the job done. I was definitely going to have to do this particular achievement on a new save file, but I foolishly still had hope. I thought maybe if I got the Long Rabbit to win a championship, then Bubba would be happy. Except I couldn't get Long Rabbit to win again, so I decided to breed Long Rabbit, and maybe I could get one of its children to win the championship. This was of course all a wild goose chase, and it's also when I learned that rockets could transfer from parent to child.
It inherited the rocket.
At this point, I just gave up and decided I wanted the rocket back. But I learned another new thing. When you kill a horse, the items it's wearing don't always drop.
Wait, where'd the rocket go? Where's my rocket?
And so I lost my rocket, the best item in the game, with no way to get it back.
Oh man.
I mourned my rocket, but soon moved on to trying to find a horse that looked like the lost horse. The problem was that thanks to my rambunctious breeding programs, the wild horses were all a bit funny looking. I found one that had vaguely the right look, but the rancher was not convinced.
That looks like black sheep. Something not quite right with the tail. Oh, so am I supposed to genetically engineer?
It seemed like I was getting clear instructions on what I needed to change about the horse I found. The tail wasn't quite right, so maybe if I got in the CRISPR and edited the DNA relating to the tail, I could correct that.
This helix affects the tail, but I have no idea what the hell.
I was once again looking at the Horsey CRISPR guide, but it seemed multiple DNA traits related to tails, so I wasn't exactly sure which tail-related bit of the genome I needed to adjust. And beyond that, I'm pretty sure I was just misunderstanding the instructions anyway. But somehow, I did in fact change the tail, making it a little skinnier and a little longer.
Oh, I changed the tail a little bit. Is it enough? Looks like black sheep. Something not quite right with the head. Okay. He didn't complain about the tail. The tail's similar. I need a bigger head. How do I do big head? I need helix 10 to adjust the head. I need that there. I need this there. This should make his head giant, maybe? The head is not any bigger, I don't think. Head, thick skull, A0.
There's something to do with a thick skull on helix 0, so I thought maybe that would help.
I gave it flamin'. No, I didn't want to do that. I don't know how to undo it.
Yeah, I gave it spikes on its back. Clearly, my CRISPR skills are unrivaled, and I was on another failure streak. I failed with Bubba's rabbits, and I failed recreating the lost horse. It was time to pivot once again, back to the circus with a random long wild horse.
Come on, come on. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, that was beautiful. The long boy coming out of nowhere, just from the wild. You never know. It's got a floppy neck. Nope, that's definitely not it.
That was the achievement to complete the Acrobat Circus Challenge, but it seemed the trampoline was going to be the hardest challenge of all. Out west, I found a random ranch that definitely was not here before.
Wait, this is new. I think this is a guy I released.
Apparently, if you release sentient horses, they create new ranches. Fascinating. The following day, I fired up Horsey Game determined. I wanted to figure out the CRISPR, so I locked in.
On Helix 10, position 0 is these two at the bottom. It controls head size. Red is the smallest head size. Problem is I don't know what the other positions do, so I'm gonna change other stuff accidentally here maybe. If you wanna max the head size, you need to put a C on both 0 sides. He should have a massive head now. It changed his head color.
Yeah, position 0 is at the top. So I just changed, I don't know what the hell I just changed. One thing told me position 0 is at the top. I'm so confused, dude. Position 0 should be the top, actually.
That might do it, but is his head still gonna be the wrong color?
That made his head tiny.
So T represents like the biggest index. There we go. Is that as big as it needs to be?
I somehow managed to get rid of the spikes as well.
That looks like black sheep, not quite right with the torso. You're right about that. The torso is bigger. I think the tail's wrong as well. The tail position should be higher.
At some point, I worked out that you can dig up the genome colorful thingos, so I began doing that to get the pieces that I thought I needed based on my dodgy interpretation of the guide that I was using. At first, I tried to make the torso bigger.
I made him smaller?
For the life of me, I could not figure out how to make this bloke's torso bigger. But I did have a bigger horse that I'd found in the wild, so I came up with a plan for my own research project.
So what I should do is I should analyze his DNA and see what his says in terms of chest. AGGT for all the stuff that might affect the chest. Oh, I've got ATGC. Okay, well, if this isn't right, then all I can think of is changing the bone structure somehow.
I changed my target horse's chest DNA over to match the bigger horse, but that didn't work. I had no idea why. I tried looking into their comparative bone structures, but that wasn't it either. At this point, since torso size was giving me so much trouble, I tried to edit the bigger horse instead, with the first goal being to upsize its head.
Show me a giant head, please. What? That's a small head.
I simply could not replicate my success giving a horse a big head. So it was time to give up again. And I read somewhere that sometimes you can find fossils with DNA that matches the lost horse. So I drove around digging up bones. I extracted DNA from those bones, and I fired up the gene drive to see what horses would appear. I did not find a perfect replica of the lost horse, sadly.
What does freaks for $10 mean? Oh, this'll win prize. Wait, what? Well, the ball and chain actually helps. The ball and chain helps. No, dude, that was close.
As you can see, I once again pivoted, back to the trampoline. And after learning that the ball and chain was theoretically helpful, I decided to investigate if a heavy horse could dominate the bounce.
679. How heavy are you? 684.
This made me realize that if you force feed a horse apples, it will never stop eating. And I had so many apples.
Oh, he's put on like 400 kilos or something.
I fed him a lot of apples.
All right, get the ball and chain on him. Let's give this a go. Ball and chain, big fatty. I have hope. Oh yeah, and the leg fell off. Oh, he's too... That's the problem with the belly though, man. I let loose a population of absolute freaks up here.
My next experiment was to attempt to make this many-legged horse's legs shorter.
What the heck? How did it completely change his color? This is a terrible plan. I don't know why I think this is a decent plan. Okay, maybe it's a decent plan. Oh, he didn't get enough bounce? There's no way he's not the perfect bouncer. Okay. I think the ball and chain was counterproductive there.
I returned to the CRISPR for a long time, by the way. I really was having a good crack at it.
I don't know, dude. I don't know what's going on. Why can't I make the tail bigger?
But I just could not make any real progress. So I eventually washed my hands of it all and decided to win some more championship races. I wondered if maybe there was a stopping point. So I wanted to push the prize pool all the way up to $10,000 and find out.
All right, will this actually be a winning horse? When buzz, it kind of looks like it could be a winner.
He's not bad.
He keeps going buzz. Commentating his own race. Oh, he's a bit of a floppy idiot. Buzz. He's done it. Buzz. Get some fancy shoes out of that. There's no way Bin Bucket can win a race here, dude. Oh, never mind. I apologize, Bin Bucket. Bin Bucket is a legend. He even gets himself a little head start. He's the biggest cheater.
I thought I was beyond being amused by the abominations, but Bin Bucket comes along. Bin Bucket brings me so much joy. Come on, win me a championship, Bin Bucket, you legend. Look at his head start strategy. He's so smart. Face to the ground. Just giving him a permanent face plant to victory. Actually, to be fair, he's got like a pot on his head that's kind of protecting his face. Oh, that's so funny, man. Oh, what's this?
I think the prize for that championship was some crutches. Anyway, I cloned multiple versions of the bin bucket and won several championships.
Dude, the racing community must be in shambles, man. Just 3 generations of bin buckets at this point, just dominating every race and every championship.
Soon the prize pool was up to $10,000, and I'd seen no new exciting prizes, so I figured that was enough.
Yeah, I just got boots again. Yeah, okay. I think I'm done with championships then.
Okay, back to attempting the various challenges I'd already been failing at for hours. This challenge in particular, though, had not been a focus for quite some time. But here I go, meddling with the island's horsey population once more. Somewhere along the way, I'd learned that if you allow wild horses to propagate next to the nuclear power plant, mutations will occur due to the radiation. I figured this was a good way to automate some gene diversity, so I unleashed an army. It seemed to work because, for example, it didn't take long for a random red horse to appear.
Do we have the genetic diversity up? Oh, we do. I'm done.
This time around, it didn't take long at all, somehow.
What do we get? A hot air balloon. Oh, that's how you get the hot air balloon. I saw that achievement. It's Sir Algernon's legendary hot air balloon.
The hot air balloon is insanely good. You can zoom right out and move crazy fast. And there's even a way to control the passage of time, speeding up the shenanigans of all the wild horses.
Holy, I can zoom all the... Wait, what's down here? There's an apple orchard all the way over here. I never came this far before. Hey, what's up here? What is this? Is there any other secret islands? Oh, there is. Wait, what's this? Is that the asset where you do the gene editing? I think it is.
I then did some research, trying to figure out if you can go into the caves.
So apparently you can't go in most caves, but there's a secret cave over here somewhere. Oh, here's a secret cave. Okay, so you can't go in most caves, but you can go in this cave. What? Welcome, weary traveler. Did you know that in the year 400 BC, a horse ran from Athens to the plains of Marathon in just 20 minutes? It had to warn everyone about an army that was invading. The only reason the horse got there so fast is because it drank a bottle of hot sauce. That's why we call it a marathon. Really? Is that true? You want a fast horse? Feed it hot sauce and it'll go fast. That's what hot sauce does this whole time.
For the record, I was asking if that was the true story of the origin of the word marathon. I of course already knew that horses go faster with hot sauce.
I'll tell you something, partner. Every horse is eating hot sauce. And you know what? Horse racing is still a beautiful sport. Is that a commentary on horse racing? All the horses in horse racing in real life are juiced up.
And that is the random cave where I heard a lovely dose of history, and I claimed 3 hot sauce bottles and 3 fossils. I immediately took those fossils, extracted their DNA, and had a look at what horses emerged from the gene drive. Some tiger-striped looking dog horse looking horsey weirdos. Nothing too exciting. Somehow all the mutants near the power plant had died out, so I bought about 3,000 new horses and shoved them all in there, because why not? And then I took stock.
Just 6 more achievements. This green guy with no eyes and a floppy neck, he looks like a high achiever. Boom. There's the achievement to own a horse named High Achiever.
The remaining 5 achievements were not going to be so easy.
We just gotta try trampolinist after trampolinist and hope.
Yeah, I decided to completely dispense with any concept of strategy for this one, and instead I went for volume of attempts. It was a throw everything at the wall type situation, keeping at it until something stuck.
Oh! Oh! That was close. What is this guy? Come on, fella. No, don't go right. Ah, too far.
I think that may have been left, but I can't be sure. Either way, the very next ridiculous horse I placed on the trampoline brought me glory.
Oh? No. Oh, he did it! He did it! He's a legend. I thought the last bounce wasn't going to be high enough, but it was. It was. It's so glorious. What's this? What the? The freak has escaped. Wait, what? I accidentally competed him in this.
Once you beat all 4 circus acts, the freak is your prize. I accidentally entered this particular freak in the acrobat act immediately. As far as freaks go, I feel like this wasn't actually a bad attempt.
That was just the trampoline achievement. Why do I not have win all 4 circus... Wait, with 1 character? Surely that doesn't mean with 1 horse. Win all circus events, a race, and a sumo bout.
I had assumed that I simply needed to win all of those events independently, but it's not so simple as that. That would actually be pretty easy. You do in fact have to win all of that with a single horse. Upon realizing this, I thought it was completely impossible.
Because I was thinking, how on earth do you get this without the horse just getting old before you get a chance to get them all? You basically wouldn't be able to fail. But you can use hot sauce to wake a horse up and do it all on the same day. So what you'd do is you'd switch between different horse DNAs that can beat different races.
I should mention, around this point I learned you can copy and paste Horsey DNA, so you can spawn in other people's horses using the gene drive. I grabbed some dude's Horsey DNA off the internet and created Vroom Vroom Guy, an extremely strong zoomy horse. I ended up deciding it would be cheating to use him to get any achievements though, so I largely ignored him. Although a variation of him did randomly show up in some races that I bet on later. Anyway, let's talk about the true power of hot sauce. Yes, it makes horses run faster, which I guess would have been handy to help win races earlier, but whatever. The main benefit is it wakes a horse up. Up until this point, I thought I needed to sleep every time I wanted to get the Zeds of sleepiness away from a horse. But no, a dose of hot sauce wakes them up. First things first, I emptied all the useless crap out of my truck. Second things second, a little strategy.
Wait, this horse has already won the trampoline. So why don't I use this guy as my base? I just need to start imprinting new horses onto this guy, and we'll call him the guy because he's gonna make it happen. The problem is I'm gonna need a lot of hot sauce, and I'm worried I'm not gonna have enough.
Of course, the best source of hot sauce is the Hot Sauce Ranch up north. And I'm not sure what my logic was, but I figured I should get the owner drunk. I then stole her, released her into the wild, and was astounded to discover she was replaced by a very weird looking little green horse. With that pointless experiment out of the way, I began selling horses in exchange for the magical juice, establishing a little stock of the all-important hot sauce. I then grabbed Bin Buckets' DNA. I'd saved the original Bin Bucket at the old folks' home to make this possible, and I knew this was a safe bet to win a race. So I turned the guy into Bin Bucket. But every time you use the gene drive on a horse, it gets sleepy, so I had to give him hot sauce to wake him up. Unfortunately, with hot sauce in his system, the Bin Bucket version of the guy was a little too fast, and he flipped over.
Because he had hot sauce, he had too many beans. He was too powerful.
Fortunately, every other idiot in the race fell over, and the guy wiggled and wiggled until the win was secured. I used another dose of hot sauce to wake him up, and wondered if the Bin Bucket DNA could win against my stiletto sumo champ, the Undulator. Unfortunately, the guy skimmed along underneath the big Undulator, and it was recorded as a loss. I used up some more precious hot sauce to wake up our hero again and gave it another try, because it seemed like it should be possible, but not if luck wasn't on my side.
I just lose because I go under him? The undulator may be impossible to beat. Honestly. Oh, dude. How am I ever going to beat the undulator?
I was the one who installed the stiletto-shaped undulator as the sumo champ, and now that was coming back to bite me. I needed to figure out how to take the big fella down, and I still needed 3 more circus trophies too. Fortunately, the DNA of Bin Bucket was a great diver. 1 more knocked over. I woke up the guy once again with my last hot sauce and tried to enter him into the strong horse, but it says strong horse is missing something to pull. I was very confused and concerned by this. I decided to give Bin Buckets' DNA a go in the acrobat event instead. I did not have high hopes, but somehow things came together.
Oh my gosh. Can I make this happen?
Suddenly, I only needed 2 more victories, just the sumo wrestling and the strong horse. With the strong horse strangely unavailable, I returned to the sumo ring and tried to find a horse capable of defeating the undulator, but I was discouraged. I thought the strong horse was broken on my save file or something, and I thought the undulator was genuinely unbeatable. So I put a pause on making the guy a hero and began work on a different achievement, one that requires you to successfully win a win, place, show, bet. That is, you've got to pick the winning horse, the second place horse, and the third place horse all at once.
I don't think there are any genetically sound enough horses in existence. Oh, plumb. This guy wins.
My concern was that I'd polluted the gene pool so thoroughly that there weren't even 3 horses capable of finishing the race left in the universe. But as I learned early on playing this game, if you watch enough races, you do start seeing the same horses showing up. So you can learn which horses are decent and begin establishing a bit of an unofficial ranking system on which to base the bets. So I did exactly that. I watched race after race and started to get an idea of which horses had what it takes to finish a race, along with a vague idea of which horses were fastest. After about 15 minutes, I saw this race. I knew Plymouth was obviously gonna win, and I knew Wildheart and Fantasy were both capable of finishing, and I was pretty sure that Wildheart was faster, though prone to falling over.
I've been studying the field for like half an hour. Wildheart, please don't fall over. Fantasy, keep your lead, you idiot. I'm actually gonna get it. Don't say that. Why am I saying that prematurely? Come on. Fantasy and Double Plus go fast. I knew you could both. Are you seriously stalling like this, Wildheart? Please move. Okay, go. Go. Go, you idiot! No way! You gotta be kidding me with this crap, bro. Wildheart, you moron.
I really thought I had it, but Wildheart just gave up. What a moron. I kept at it with the betting for another 15 minutes, but sadly had no luck and went to bed for the night. When I played next, it seemed an entirely new pool of races was in the mix, so anything I'd learned so far wasn't actually relevant and I had to relearn the field.
I reckon Red Leicester falls over. Please fall over, Red Leicester. Oh, I was right. Is this the most demented race that's gonna actually do it? I don't think these guys can fall. They've got anti-fall protection. Okay, Short Mort is in. The places are correct. Please dial up. Where are you, mate? Please. You haven't made it very far, but I believe in you. I might have to wait 2 hours, but it could be it. You got your spinning leg and your piston leg. And your big fat head and fat tail so you don't roll over. If you can get there, I back dial up. to get there. Oh my gosh, it's gonna happen. Dial up. Dial up's always oh, come on, don't sleep. He's moved since I last checked. In absolutely majestic fashion, it looks like a combination of Short Mort, Jury Duty, and Dial Up the Flopper. He's like a fish out of water. This is unbelievable scenes.
I had to wait around for Dial Up for quite a long time.
He's unable to keep his feet. He's got a mallet of some description embedded in his head. He's narcoleptic, taking snoozes randomly all the time.
About 2 minutes later,
Glory has nearly arrived. He started going backwards, I swear. Why is he losing ground? Go, you idiot. He's getting You have to be kidding me. Oh my gosh. Imagine he did that earlier. You know what? He knows how to finish in style. Give me a heart attack, finally. Win a win place show bet. That's an important achievement.
I then turned my attention back to trying to knock the undulator off as sumo champ, using random wild horses. Somehow, it actually happened pretty quickly.
It's possible he wins this. He won! And then surely I can beat this guy with this guy. Surely. And then he becomes the champion. Is that how it works? This random deformed dingus. Surely. Yes! Now I gotta beat him with some other horse to get him back. Wait, he's there. He's there. Why is he there?
For some reason, the guy was released and I was able to catch him back immediately. And now he just needed to do the strong horse.
I think it's broken. Like, it doesn't let me do it again.
The strong horse tent was not working and I was still confused.
Why can't I do this? Strong horse is missing something to pull.
And then I found out by complete accident that since I'd won the first freak, a new freak needed to be generated. When I visited the freak tent, this green fella appeared.
Oh, wait, what? It worked. Oh, it's a new freak. It's a new freak. I didn't want this guy to do that though. I want my other guy to do it. I can do it again, right? Okay. Oh no, he's not gonna roll forward. Oh, he can still do it.
I thought that the bin bucket DNA would have absolutely no problem with the strong horse, but somehow that did not work out for me.
How many sleeps does he have left?
He had a few more sleeps in him before he'd get to old age.
I just turn him into the Porsche and he should be able to get the job done, right? Turn the guy into the Porsche.
What?
Why did it turn... It turned me into a weird... This guy can do it.
I don't know why it didn't work turning him into the Porsche, but the stiletto horse could surely do it.
We indulge in one snooze. We can afford one snooze. You gotta be kidding me.
You may be wondering why I wasn't just using more hot sauce. I had assumed that you couldn't sell infinite horses to the hot sauce ranch, because at normal ranches, you can only sell a few horses before they fill up. Because of that, I felt like I was working to a tight limit of attempts.
I think this guy will be able to pull it, right? Oh, dude, what is going on today?
In truth, you can actually sell infinite horses to the hot sauce ranch, so I didn't really have to worry. And I got the job done pretty soon after anyway. I made a brand new floppy disk DNA abomination, and it delivered the goods. It wasn't necessarily the most impressive strong horse showing, but it was enough.
The guy has done it. He is the guy. Yes! I don't know which color represents what, but he did all the circus things. The dive, the trampoline, the strong horse, the acrobatic nonsense. He got the sumo title. I think a random wild horse got the sumo title for him. The sumo title was a complete nonsense, but finally he has the deity achievement. I don't know if it's meant to say deity as in God, but we'll take it. A very tricky achievement, as you can see by the percentage completion.
And then there were two, to find the lost horse and to breed a winner from Bubba's rabbits. I spent some time on this save file trying to generate a lost horse lookalike, using fossils mainly, but I had no luck.
Yeah, I think I need to restart. We're resetting.
This deleted my first save file forever, but that save was beyond help. The wild horses were ridiculous, the fossils were a mess, and I felt like I had no chance of getting the lost horse quest done. And of course all the rabbits were dead, so that one was impossible. With a new save file, I had $100, enough for 2 lassos, and I was free to drive straight to that same ranch with the missing horse.
Black-eyed Susan. Kind of a basic horse.
On every save file, the look of the lost horse is a random, fairly normal looking horse. And of course, new games don't have a corrupted gene pool, so there were plenty of normal looking horses in the wild. With the 2 lassos I'd purchased, I could catch 2 that hopefully matched the look of the lost horse. I did not find success with these 2 horses, and I still wasn't sure how I was going to get this done. I thought I perhaps had to get back into the crisper, because I wasn't sure how perfect of a replica horse I needed in order to fool the rancher. But I decided I would spam reset and hope. I started a bunch of new games, every time catching 2 horses that looked similar to the lost horse poster, and crossing my fingers. After a few resets, I began to despair that it wasn't going to work, because the rancher was pretty picky, relentlessly pointing out features that weren't quite right. But in the end, it seems the quote-unquote lost horse you return doesn't have to be a perfect replica.
Oh yes, I pulled it off.
This guy was similar enough. Oh, I thought that was going to take forever because this guy was not perfect. He didn't have the little white bit there. His head's a little bit different, I think. It's like a bit fatter. Tail's a bit skinnier as well. Dude, why? In fact, I'm kind of amazed. All right, that's fine though. I managed to do Return a Lost Horse. I thought that was going to take me another 10 years. It took quite a while just then. That also made me a little cheeky bit of money for this save file on which I'm going to try and breed rabbits. Yes, indeed, the final achievement. The achievement I actually successfully completed ages ago, but failed to turn in at the time. Acadian Scooter, the lost horse lookalike, actually won me a race. Good job, mate. And this was handy because my strategy was very simple. Breed the rabbits with good horses until it worked. Okay, so I've worked out they don't get older if they're in here. This was a great discovery. If I simply put the rabbits back in Bubba's hutch every day, they would not grow older. They did stay tired though, but at least they'd be frozen in time while I bred their descendants. My goal with this breeding was simple. Focus on breeding horses that maintained the big floppy rabbit ears, and enter a bunch of them into races, and hope. I was able to sell the many rabbits I was producing in exchange for infinite hot sauce, so I didn't even really need to freeze the rabbits in time, but it was a good insurance policy. I was trying to get a wider, more stable, more normal horse-bodied creature, while of course, as I said, maintaining the bunny ears.
I think he has a chance, so I'm going to call him Chance. Come on, Chance.
I think he actually did have a chance, but he failed to take his chance. The breeding shenanigans went on for quite a long time.
He's doing it! No, don't do that. Oh, recovery? Recovery? Oh, no. Force feeding them hot sauce and then making them mate over and over again. It's certainly a good vibe. Okay, I really had high hopes for you, dude. Come on. What? He did so well before.
It was tough going, but I had managed to cultivate a decent stock of bunny-eared horses. In the end, it took just less than an hour, which looking back isn't so bad. It could definitely have been way worse because these rabbits make for truly garbage racehorses.
Come on, Jitters, you big rabbit idiot. Interstellar Interloper is a beast though. But Jitters, I think Jitters is capable of finishing. I think I can do it. I think I can make it happen with Jitters. I just need things to align. Middens is a strong opponent, so Rigorous Darrenpool is pretty serious. Gufferser is a bit of a beast. Thorg is long gone behind. Sugarplum Fairy, I think this is it. Jitters, move. Jitty your way over the line. Okay, is that all there is to it? Finally? How do I... Oh, the ear's not big enough? Actually, Rolling Dummy's ears aren't that big. Did it not trigger because I didn't talk to him earlier or something? Oh, I put it in here maybe? Oh, that's what you do. Thank goodness. I thought I'd screwed it up somehow. Breed a winner for Bubba. A lot of people did this. You know, you gotta be kind of committed. You could get lucky though, for sure. Now that, my friends, is 100% of this hilarious, hilarious game. Shout out to Jitters. What a legend. Shout out to that random horse that I found that kind of looked like the lost horse and got me that achievement. Shout out to the guy back in my first playthrough. I guess I'm done. Complete.
To you valiant few who made it to the end, information for you. My second channel exists. Go check out Floydson if you want. Link below.